Domestic violence charges in Gulf Shores after shooting her husband in the foot on New Year's Eve. The altercation between the two occurred on the 7th floor of a condominium. Police found a 39-year-old man injured by gunfire after a verbal altercation occurred between him and his wife. The family was vacationing in Gulf Shores. Marianne Savage of Covington, Georgia, was arrested and charged. A missing Mississippi man was found in Mobile County. 60-year-old Joseph Lanier went missing on Christmas Eve. His body was located after his Toyota Tundra was discovered parked in an abandoned driveway. Lanier had left his home in Mississippi to visit his son in Moss Point, but never arrived. Lanier was a power lifter who broke records in deadlifts, squats, and bench presses. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Sky Mosley for your hometown conservative newspaper, the Alabama Gazette. Published in beautiful downtown Montgomery, serving the river region and central Alabama proper for over 24 years, always under the banner of God, family, and country. You can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout the area and an excellent value for your advertising dollar. The Gazette provides you with a ready-made audience that shares your values, beliefs, and principles. Give them a call, 356-6700. Advertising with the Alabama Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette. Honest, informative, trustworthy, your conservative alternative newspaper. Real local news from real local people. The Alabama Gazette, they are most worthy of your support. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. 356-6700, give them a call. The Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Do you want more online safety and privacy? I know I do. That's why I started using NordVPN. It guards me against various internet threats. Digital trackers, malicious websites, and malware-infected downloads? Back off. I choose to browse with more confidence. I choose NordVPN.
To avoid digital threats, turn on NordVPN. It's trusted by millions of users. Just visit NordVPN.com. One of the fastest VPNs on Earth will block web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. It will also encrypt your internet traffic while maintaining a smooth connection. So improve your digital privacy and protection against hackers with one simple click. Get the special deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by so you know the thing. I got hairy legs. I got worms. Now you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman. You gotta cough, please. You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me. Mary.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. So what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We also have Eddie Bader in the studio. How you doing today, Eddie?
Doing good, Joey. How you doing, bro?
Welcome back for a show of the new year for you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And apparently, President Gay, who for a while I was confused. I thought it was a a nickname for George Santos.
Yeah.
But no, it's President Gay of Harvard.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Her resignation.
Shouldn't it be ex-President Gay?
Well, I don't know if it's fully been processed yet. Maybe she's lame duck President Gay.
That'd be a good way to put it.
But President Gay is out. She's resigned, and we have a write-up from the AP, though. So
Okay.
don't listen to Chris Rufo. Don't listen to James Lindsay. Don't listen to right-wing talkers like me. Go with the trusted source called the Associated Press. The headline is, Harvard's president's resignation highlights new conservative weapon against colleges, plagiarism. But Eddie, it gets better. This is the actual write-up. You think the headline's bad? Listen to this one paragraph. Christopher Rufo, a conservative activist who helped orchestrate the effort, celebrated President Gay's departure as a win in his campaign against elite institutions of higher education.
Okay.
On X, formerly Twitter, Christopher Rufo wrote, "Scalped," as if Gay was a trophy of violence, invoking a gruesome practice taken up by white colonists who sought to eradicate Native Americans. Wait, where do you think the colonists got the idea in the first place?
Wow.
Wow is right.
Wow. That is this normal when you get fired from these big institutions? Is this kind of a normal thing?
And that's just scratching the surface.
Oh,
But
Lord.
join us to talk about this and other issues. We have Jeff Poor of 1819 News. He's editor-in-chief there. Also host of the Jeff Poor Show, 106.5 FM in the Mobile area. How you doing this afternoon, Jeff?
I'm doing well, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being on the program. So your take on President Gay breaking the internet?
It does really show once you pull back the curtain and you see what a joke, what a scandal there is in higher institutions of learning right now, especially in our elite institutions. So we hold in such high esteem, and they're smarter than us, and they can make the world work better. And they're going to cure all our illnesses and solve all societal woes. And we put so much stock in these places, and then you see kind of the fraud that is being perpetrated here as the person they put the president. I mean, this isn't like some random sociology professor in the basement. This is like the face of the university is a serial plagiarist apparently, who's also got some anti-Semitism going for her.
Yeah, but Jeff, we have Gay on Gay. Mara Gay of the New York Times is saying this morning that, quote, "This is really an attack on academic freedom. This is an attack on diversity. This is an attack on multiculturalism." And I don't have to say that they're racist because you can hear and see the racism in the attacks. So are you and I and everybody else talking about this? We're just being racist again?
No, and I mean, I guess that's the knee-jerk reaction that the left was steeped in symbolism, and you had this. They're almost like not treating her like a human being, but more of a symbol of their utopia, of their mindset. Right? It's dehumanizing in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and that rather than focus on any of her body of work or any of that, like this would be a great way to handle this. If I'm on the left and I'm a Claudine Gay person, what about her body of work here? Look at all these other things she's accomplished. Yeah, she screwed up, but she broke barriers. She led Harvard in a positive direction, or whatever. Even if you got to make it up or sugarcoat it or whatever. But instead, it's like this weird sort of knee-jerk reaction that this is an attack on diversity. This is an attack on all of these virtues that we see that are just like the most important things. Screw meritocracy. This is how the world should really work. And I don't think the public is going to go along with this at all.
Again, folks, we have Jeff Poor on the line. Before I go to the next topic, if folks kind of want to follow you, Jeff, what you're writing about, think about, how can they do so?
Twitter.com/Jeff_Poor. Those of you kids out there who call it the X platform, X.com works as well.
Well, good follow, folks. He's a good follow indeed. And check out the radio show in the morning as well there. You got the internet. You can look up 106.5 FM, folks.
Especially on Wednesdays, you get to hear Joey Clark.
Yeah, I have way too much fun. It's very relaxing just being the guest sitting in your bedroom on the phone than actually hosting the show. I quite enjoy it, I have to admit.
Wait till you're just actually doing the show from your bedroom. Maybe not over the phone, but then it's even more relaxing, right?
Yeah, the day is probably going to arrive sooner rather than later. But as I look forward to this new year, in particular when I focus on the state of Alabama, I saw, I think the other day, Oklahoma got rid of all DEI institutions in their university system, and I think made it a statewide thing. In general, do you think Alabama will be able to do something like that in this upcoming legislative session?
Well, I would hope so. I think these DEI programs at Auburn and Alabama and throughout state government are kind of just munding at ways to launder money and get, certain people's salary increases or whatever. I don't know there's a whole lot of DEI that's actually going on, but it's something that shouldn't be institutionalized because it's especially in a state like Alabama. If they want to have DEI programs in a blue state where they are philosophically in line with like mandated equity and mandated inclusivity and mandated diversity, then so be it. But I don't think that's what people in Alabama want at all. So it should be eradicated. It should be outlawed, but there's vestiges of government that just hang on to these as like things that they need to have to make their bureaucracies function better.
Now, did you see that? I believe you're a graduate of Auburn University, right?
I am. Building Science 2000.
Yeah, poli-sci or BS and poli-sci. Emphasis on the BS for me, 2011, and. I saw that Auburn got a special spotlight from the Wall Street Journal, and it makes me think that some of this stuff might be going on when you see how top-heavy even Auburn University is in terms of administrators versus faculty. It seems that something has gone wrong even in the Deep South, even in a great university like Auburn. I saw a little bit of this woke stuff while I was there. Did you see any of that, or being in building science, you kind of avoided it?
It was weird because my building science professors at the time really did not like Bill Clinton, and I was late '90s, and I got a second degree from the University of South Alabama. I was never exposed. I mean, there was a little bit in your core curriculum, right, of the left wing bias, but it wasn't I was a lot dumber to it, more naive about it back then. But when I worked on a journalism degree is when I really saw it and just how dishonest it was. Building science, you didn't really see it. But I'll tell you this, Joey, looking at what the Wall Street Journal did, I mean, I had very powerful and influential people saying, hey, what are y'all going to do with this story, calling us at 1819 News, and we haven't figured that out yet. We're still trying to work on it. But, I guess they're afraid of something here. The building explode, all these capital improvements. And correct me if I'm wrong, Joey. I mean, you've been to the University of Alabama. You've been to any state college in the South. This seems to be kind of a thing, right? Where I don't think Auburn's any more lavish than any other school with their building. What they're, I guess, upset about is not having these merit-based or need-based scholarships for students and trying to make that the issue. I mean. I don't necessarily have a big problem with what Auburn's doing. All this construction took place after I left.
Right.
It's a much different campus now than it was when I was there in the late 90s.
Well, and it's different than when I was there in 2011. The amount of building is ridiculous. Now some of the stuff makes sense. I was there when the old basketball arena was still around. They needed a new basketball arena, especially if they wanted to be a more high-profile program, bring in Bruce Pearl. And then a lot of these buildings, like the new veterinary medicine building, amazing stuff. Some of this is really useful and makes sense if you're competing across a nation, not just with other schools here in our great state. I suspect the Wall Street Journal chose Auburn because Auburn stupidly put out all their financials publicly up till 2016. Then they got wise and started keeping that closer to the vest. But I think that's why the Wall Street Journal went with it, because they actually could get the data on Auburn.
Well, I don't know. Do we think that Auburn is justly vilified here? I don't know. I think I have a problem with a lot of what these schools are doing, especially in Alabama, where they're courting out-of-state students more than they are in-state students. University of Alabama has way more out-of-state students than in-state students. And why do we have state schools if we're going to put so much time and effort into educating kids from other states? But it's like, because they want these out-of-state students because they pay double the tuition and they can put that money towards something else. But I don't like that as a policy. It's grotesque. It really bothers me that the flagship university, the University of Alabama, it is a cool place. I understand people want to go to college there. Nick Saban is the coach. And then Auburn has kind of got a cool tradition that draws people from other states too. But you got to remember, why do we have two constitutionally mandated state schools, Auburn and Alabama, and it's not to educate kids from Kentucky or Connecticut or wherever?
No, I think you make a fantastic point. And the tuition numbers are absurd. I constantly had the conversation with my dad. He's like, Joe, I worked 40 hours a week at Lowe's to pay my way through Auburn, get that engineering degree. Once he started making payments, because him and my mother saved a good bit, so I'd have to take out debt. I guess #blessed or privileged or whatever in that way. That he started making some of those tuition payments from that savings, and he goes, okay, yeah, you could work 40, 50 hours a week at Lowe's, and you ain't paying that, Joe. Maybe you could cover room and board and a meal plan. But it is becoming a bit prohibitive, and you would think that the locals, the Alabamians, would get a break here.
Why is it getting so expensive? Why? I mean, yeah, you're right. They needed new buildings, but I don't know. Like, you go to, and everything is new, and everything is nice, and I'm glad that they're able to do that, but they're really, really hurting the in-state student that they're supposed to be educating and making. Even if you don't have any love for any of these schools, they serve a purpose in your state to better your quality of life. Mm-hmm. Like, we need educated professionals in our economy in Alabama to make things work, to make business work or whatever. And we have our smartest of the smart go off to our smart schools, and they come back and they serve a function in the community. But they're getting away from that in Auburn, Alabama, and they're just like self-perpetuating behemoth institutions that aren't really serving the purpose that they were designed to be, right?
Right. No, I think that's it's become almost too big of a business. And I have memories of being at Auburn. Some of the teachers didn't appreciate that we were more known as a football school. Now, this was an English professor. I don't deny some of the top-notch colleges there at Auburn, especially like aerospace and industrial design and pharmacy and nursing and animal sciences. You take your pick, forestry. Auburn has some amazing things going on, not to mention building sciences and engineering in general. But there are, I think, aspects of this where people are going for the college experience, and they're not just going for what you just described, Jeff, of actually getting the skills to be, competent professionals.
Competent professionals, but within the state, to make people who don't have necessarily skin in the game at these schools, their quality of life better. It's the whole idea of a rising tide lifts all boats, and kind of like making sure we have like doctors or veterinarians and the places where there's not, we complain about some places not even having a working medical clinic, like in some of these counties. Like we need to fill these voids, and they're not really focused on that. They're focused on let's raise a bunch of capital and then just build up the university and keep building it up and up and up. And Alabama's trying to be a state school, not like your traditional southeastern state school, but like UVA or the University of California or even Michigan or some of these places where they're like state schools kind of walking the walk of a private school, if you will.
Right. It's a weird trend right now. It's just another one of our many major institutions in this country that is getting a jaundiced eye, a little bit of a skeptical look from a lot of folks. But we're running out of time here, Jeff. Again, if folks want to follow you, how can they do so?
Once again, twitter.com/Jeff_Poor. Also, 1819 News, 1819news.com. Check us out there.
Appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, Joey.
Again, Jeff Poor there. Fantastic to have him on Wednesdays. Erica Thomas will be calling in here in a second. But I forget your path. You didn't go to college, did you?
Yeah.
You did? Where'd you go?
University of, was it at
We just never talk about this time in your life.
I went to basically a vocational college. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I got a business degree, 2.5-year business degree. It should take.
But you're
longer,
actually
2 years.
using it.
Yeah, but what I learned, nothing.
It's antiquated now.
Yeah. And not only that, it was if you're going to college for business, I'm sure it works out for some people, but for me, it's best. I'm a hands-on guy. Jump in.
Right.
Take a handful of money and jump in.
I think that's the only way I learned stuff. I just got to put my hands on it, so to speak.
Yeah, and it, for some people, again, it works out. But I met more auto workers that build cars for a living that have college degrees than anything else in my life.
Well, and I know you've already gone through the whole education process with your own son.
Mm-hmm.
Not to give all details, all sorts of stuff away, but like, what was your thought? Because you get them through elementary, middle, high school, this.
I
What was your
wanted him to
thought
go
on
to
that?
college. The high school that he went to, there were a lot of scholarships available if he wanted to, but he was like me. And he was smart enough to say, you know what? Instead of wasting my time and money and your time and money, let me just live a little. And so he
Heck,
did. And
mature beyond his years.
Oh, yeah. Well, he watched his dad. And what turned out, and I'm very proud of Justin for this, Hyundai did not have any way to kind of go from production to maintenance. You had to either come in with a maintenance degree or you were kind of just stuck. And Justin, on his own, working God knows how many hours a week, 80 plus hours a week, still managed to do a 2-year program out at Trenum and get a maintenance degree. Hyundai found out about that. They quickly brought him in the office and said, okay, how the hell did you do this? We worked the crap out of you. How did you do this? And with some other friends that we had out there, he kind of explained the process, and now there is a program. Now, Justin didn't create it, but Justin was the first to do it. And he had some great instructors out there that said, look, we know you work God knows how many hours. Let us work around your schedule. And so they were able to do it. But now there's
That's
actually,
amazing.
Now, and they looked at him. They knew this was not going to be, they weren't going to waste their time with someone. They kind of got to know Justin and said, okay.
Yeah, this will work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll call your dad if something goes wrong.
No, and I think that's the future. I think you're going to see more and more big companies try to find talent that's hardworking, that's high IQ, that can get the job done,
Yeah.
and they'll educate them right out of high school.
Yeah. In fact, I read, I guess it was, during Christmas that several CEOs now are no longer drafting from college. They want to, because several things. One, like you have colleges that, hey, at this point you just have to attend. As long as you pay, you're going to graduate. You're not really getting anything out of that. And he said, instead of them coming out of there with that attitude, I would rather intercept them between high school and college and teach them how to be real in my company.
Yeah.
And there were 3 or 4 of them. It was an open discussion, and they'd all said they've done different routes. They've done recruiting. They've done out-of-country recruiting. All that has not worked like they want it to, so they said their best plan of action is we're just going to intercept between college and high school. And some people get into college, and I'm sure you run into some that college just wasn't for them. They're plenty smart enough. It's just, like me, it just wasn't for me. Too many distractions.
Yeah, and this whole President Gay thing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of how much I loathe the certain games that would go on in academia. Don't get me wrong. Met a lot of great people my age, great peers, a lot of great teachers. It wasn't so much the teacher-student experience. I was fine when I went to Auburn. But there's so much built into the way the system at Auburn works, and I think just works everywhere. I think it's worse when you get to the Ivy League, where it's more about checking boxes. It's more a game of status
Oh, yeah, definitely, dude.
than it is about being entrepreneurial or putting your hands on something to figure out what's your passion, what can you make money and be productive with in life. It becomes more, no, you check the boxes. You got to be wicked smart. But there's very much this status socialite aspect to our higher institutions now, and I don't mean just colleges and universities. Across the board, you see it like in media. You see it at the high ends of media. You see it in government, obviously, where people are more interested in how can I get a leg up and kind of rule over folks, as opposed to doing something that's good for me and my own and building a life and generational wealth and all these things. So that part of the academic world really just turned me off very quickly.
Oh, sure.
I've jumped through this hoop, jumped through that hoop, check this box, check it. Just like, can't we get to actual like knowledge and conversation?
And that was a big thing that turned me off from college. It was for what I wanted to study. There was all this BS I'd have to get through to before I even get to that. So it wasn't for me. For some people though, absolutely they need it. But some people just like military. I don't discourage anyone from going in the military. It wasn't for me. I had a drill sergeant for a father. I didn't need to continue that on in my life. But some people need that. They need that guidance. They need that extra. I don't discourage anybody from joining, especially if you're just lost, not sure what you're going to do with your life. A couple years in the military, you can figure it out and get paid.
Again, folks, you're listening to Joey Clark Live. Check it out on YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe on YouTube. We're already getting a few comments rolling in. Romex Angler wasn't here yesterday, but he's here for you, Eddie. Eddie, if you're going to cough, how many times must you be told, sir, to leave
Somebody will clean the air filter
room
in this studio. I don't cough all day. I come in here, I start coughing.
No, I think you're onto something.
It opens my head. It's like jalapenos in here or something.
Yeah, well, and Patrick, great libertarian, mandated inclusion violates freedom of association. Indeed, it does. Sometimes groups are simply incompatible and wouldn't even want enforced association. I get it. Feminists and traditional Islamists, for example, neither of those groups would really want to be forced to associate with one another. And Jeff is right about state tuition money. He is. So.
Oh, I agree 100%. We've kind of gotten away. We should be getting folks in this state into these colleges, not trying to attract the world. I love the fact that we have that
I get
ability.
why they're doing it.
Right.
Well, Auburn set out a goal, and they've hit that goal pretty well. But
aren't these colleges still funded somewhat by you, me, and other folks in this state?
Somewhat.
So if it's just somewhat, and they really don't need us anymore, why don't we get cut off from that? Why don't they say, you know what, guys? We got so much action going on. We're drawing so many people in from other than Alabama. We don't need state money anymore. You ever think that'll happen, Joey?
No, probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Hey, we got to hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. Isn't Ashley fantastic?
Oh, she's the best, man.
Zach's
Absolutely
so
the best.
great, too. And Hayden as well over there.
Oh, yeah.
All that, the entire team. We even know Chelsea.
Yeah.
And what I love is that they've not only done well as a business over the last few years, they've done so well, they're like, we got to hire more folks.
Yeah.
We got to keep expanding because their customer base has grown massive. Serving, of course, folks all throughout the river region. They're located right now on Main Street in Millbrook. They're just off of the interstate, and they can get to you and they can help you out with termites. In particular, you want to get the termite treatment done before the termites cause all sorts of damage.
Right. But if you got them now, they can handle things for you right now because you're going to have to get it done.
Right. And they have the very best and newest technology. What do they call it? The Termidor HP2 injection unit.
Very impressive unit.
It is an impressive unit. Just seeing Zach put that thing in the ground.
Oh, buddy.
It's impressive. And of course, they can help you with any of your pest problems there at Pest Pro Services. So give them a call today. Make them your everyday pest control company. 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know,
call a pro.
Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell them you heard about them here from Joey and Eddie in the afternoon.
Let's hold that cough back.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, Don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with the updated market report. Over the past 11 and a half months, over 4,100 homes have sold and closed in our MLS system with an average price of $245,000. Houses are selling at listed price throughout the river region, and over 35% are selling in the first 30 days on the market. Rising interest rates tend to keep some people from buying, but it didn't stop over 4,100 families from buying this year. There's a cost to waiting and expecting rates to fall, and that cost is appreciation, which has been rising nearly every month for the last 2 years. So the house that you delay buying this year could cost you $35,000 more next year, even if the rate falls. One alternative is to buy now, refinance when rates improve, and that way you are not paying more for the house that you really wanted. For the facts, call Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Hi, everybody. No doubt about it. We are getting into a very active weather pattern over the next several days, really. Today, a little Gulf Coast disturbance will bring in some showers, cold rain later on this afternoon and into this evening before ending later on tonight. A chilly day, you bet, with a high temperature only in the mid-40s, turning colder after the rain ends later on tonight, low 32. Sunshine briefly returns on Thursday and Friday. Lower 50s on Thursday, upper 50s on Friday. Then another storm system brings in rain and thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday, with another big one next week. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Looking for a tractor, excavator, mower, ag implements, or other equipment? Capital Tractor is as close as your smartphone or computer. Find the best deals, financing information, and browse new and used inventory with just a click at capitaltractor.com.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. He's Eddie. What got you smiling over there?
Obviously, my son's listening. He sent me a funny little meme.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now, folks. We're not going to share with you.
No.
Yeah, But hold your horses, because we have the one, the only Erica Thomas on the phone line. Hey, Erica, how you doing this afternoon?
Howdy, Joey. I'm doing good. Are you having a happy New Year?
So far, I feel very, very happy. Before we get into some of the news stories, do you have any take on President Gay, or do you just want to go past that one?
I'm just going to skip right on past that. Yep.
So
I've been watching that for a long time. I watch a lot of the Daily Wire every day, and they talk about it just every day as well. And I think it's interesting, different takes on this and different people's definition of plagiarism. You know, I think this whole resignation was a strange one. The whole letter was very weird to me, and that's all I have to say.
Fair enough. Now, one story you recently wrote up for 1819 News, that's again 1819news.com, folks, is the Alabama Policy Institute just released an Educational Freedom in Alabama report. So what are the obstacles, if I could say it that way? I didn't get enough education, I'm sorry. But what are the obstacles in our way to, because it sounds like we're not at full-on educational freedom, or what I think folks like us would want.
Right. So when it comes to school choice, there are a lot of choices that students in Alabama have. You know, parents can homeschool. They can send their kid to a private school. They can send their kid to a public school. But what we mean by this is this: where does your money go? Like, if I send my child to a private school, I have to pay for that, but I'm also having to pay for my tax dollars still go to that public school for other people's child. So why can't my tax dollars go to that private school where I want my child to go, you know? And so what we're talking about here is universal school choice, and the Alabama Policy Institute did a very comprehensive report on what that means, what the cost of that is, what the benefit of that is, and what the purpose of it is. And the takeaway from this is universal school choice is the way to go. Throwing more money at education may not be the answer. They want lawmakers to really look at that, and they even suggested that pay raises for teachers is not the answer to raising scores and making education better in Alabama.
Wow. Okay. Well, if folks want to read your write-up, they just need to go to 1819 News. You can search Erica Thomas, or API releases Educational Freedom in Alabama report. I'm hopeful. This isn't, just the facts. I guess this will be speculation here, but I'm hopeful with this upcoming session. It seems like even Governor Ivey, who hasn't been necessarily leading on this in the years past, even Governor Ivey is now saying that school choice is on the table, along with, of course, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth and so many others in leadership within the legislature. So, should I be consider myself mistaken for having this hope? Is this what it feels like? Is this hope?
I think there's more hope now than ever with the governor behind it. You know, she's making steps that she hasn't made before. There's no step too high for a high stepper, so we'll see. And then
Mrs. We're using our line, Miss. Oh no. Anyway.
Oh my. So we'll see how far it goes. You know, there's always the AEA involvement in this, and that goes pretty far too. So there's some numbers that the Alabama Policy Institute broke down, which I've also broken down before. We've got all kinds of links in my story, follow the money type stories on why the roadblocks have happened in the past. So will that happen again? We don't know yet. We'll see. But I definitely think it's something to watch for.
And again, folks, we're talking to Erica Thomas of 1819 News here on the phone. Now we have two more stories in there about drugs. Where
I like these.
Yeah, I like these too. Well, one is kind of like, I would hope everybody agrees, what the heck is this? It's the one from Escambia County. Their drug task force is fighting to get, quote-unquote, bathtub meth spray made in China off the streets. What the heck is this stuff? What? I'm looking at a picture.
Yeah,
what is that?
It sounds like a new drug, but it's really not. It's something everybody's heard of. It's basically that K2 is another name for it, but synthetic marijuana.
Oh,
something that's been around a long time. It kind of looks like potpourri. They used to sell it in gas stations a long time ago in colorful little packets. It used to be sold like in Scooby-Doo packets or different kinds of, it looked like little kid candy almost from the packets, but was usually behind the counter. But the Escambia County Drug Task Force guy, Lieutenant Derek Lowry, I talked to him last week, and he said they're seeing it, and so they're warning people, stop using this stuff. It poses very serious health risks. And he said, coming into contact with people on this stuff is just very alarming. They're acting erratic, very extreme, having hallucinations, and you just never know. It can have long-term effects on your mental health. It can just put you into psychosis, give you extreme anxiety for the rest of your life, and it's just extremely dangerous, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and it's been around a while. I know there have been efforts to ban it, but people keep changing the formula. But yeah, that's just straight up poison. But there's another story that has, I think, more of a wrinkle to it. This is about an Atmore woman. She's raised thousands of dollars online after a kratom arrest. And this got into the national spotlight. What's happening with this story here?
Yeah, I knew this one was going to get a lot of attention, but I didn't know just how many emails I would get of people that were mad at me about this story, mad at me. And I'm talking both sides. So this is how you know you did a story right and you wrote it right, is when people on both sides are just very angry. So this story is about kratom, and kratom is it's something that used to be legal in Alabama. Now it's not. Alabama is one of very few states that has made it illegal. And it's considered a controlled substance in our state. But down in Florida, it's legal. You can get over the counter at gas stations. And so this Atmore woman, she is a former addict, and she uses kratom to stay off of methamphetamines and other illegal street drugs. And a lot of addicts have used it over the years to help get them off of illegal substances such as heroin.
Right.
Because for a lot of them, it has opioid-like effects, but it can kind of wean them off of the other drugs that are more dangerous.
Right, so it's going through the same neural pathways, or it's hitting the usual like what opioid receptors would be?
The brain receptors, yes, it sparks that response. And so some of the things in this story are very controversial, such as it says in the story it can be injected. Well, technically anything can be injected. You can inject gasoline into your veins if you really feel the need. It'll probably kill you, but technically it can be done, right?
Right.
Well, people have done that. They're probably not in their right mind. They have injected kratom, and it was a problem, I think, in Ohio. And so that was one of the parts of this story that people got really angry about. But it is a fact that has happened before. And I was just so surprised at the reaction that this story brought, because people are so passionate about it. But the Drug Task Force folks in Escambia County, they're passionate about getting it, off the streets, just basically because it is illegal. And so Dana Brown, she's only 34 years old. She came back from Florida with it, and she got arrested, and she had so much of it that she was charged with trafficking. And this means that she now faces life in prison.
What?
Because she had this substance and was trying to get off of, the other stuff that she had done in the past, which I believe she said she had been addicted to methamphetamine before. And she was given a $1 million bond.
Wow.
For having something that's legal in most states. Yeah.
That's absurd. If that's the law here in this state, that law needs to be changed, because that's unjust and inhumane. And you think what you can about controlled substances, but I'm seeing this where people will, on their own, try to find something to get them off the other hard stuff, and it works. And then that thing that helped get them off the really hard stuff, well, we got to make that illegal too. And I'm seeing a quote here from the district attorney in Escambia County, Stephen Billy. And here's the quote, folks, from Erica's reporting. Quote, "It's like drinking Budweiser to stay off Jack Daniels. It's a controlled substance, and it's still illegal." Well, if somebody's got a problem when they drink the liquor, and instead, they get a little buzz when they drink the beer, isn't that an improvement? Like, this whole idea, if it's illegal, all drugs just equally bad. It's BS, excuse me, pardon me.
I don't know, though. I get both sides of this argument, because if you drink a shot of whiskey, but you drink 30 beers, what does that make? I I'm a reporter, so I'm able to look at both sides.
Sure.
I feel like I can understand both points, but this was made illegal in 2016, and I think it's important for people just to be educated on the matter, because a lot of people, especially down here where I live in Baldwin County, may not know. They might go to Florida, and they need to know that if you come over that state line with that stuff, you can be arrested for this. I mean, you can get in trouble for having it. It's not that it's illegal buying it, it's illegal having it. So you can have that in your car and you can go to jail. I think it's very important for people to know.
Now, there are some instances of death from overdose, but apparently these, cases of death are very rare when it comes to kratom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are rare, and most of the time, in these cases, there are other substances that are found in these people's system. And there was a case of a 39-year-old mother in Florida that passed away. Now, there's more to it. She didn't just, that was the only drug that was in her system. Her family was given an $11 million judgment in a wrongful death lawsuit. However, the company that distributed the kratom, they really didn't even try for a defense. So I linked the entire lawsuit in there so that people have the opportunity to read it for themselves. I didn't really go into great detail in my story about that lawsuit, but I think it's important just because this is so controversial and there's so much to it. And I don't have an opinion either way. I've never done kratom. I've never done heroin. I don't know. I don't have a dog in this fight. All I know is the facts. And I think it's important for everyone to just be understanding of all the sides and educate themselves on what all of this is, because the way that this is sold in gas stations, it kind of looks like the 5-Hour Energy, It comes in little bottles like that. And some of them come in pill form, and they come in capsules. So, I mean, educate yourself. You might be in another state and think you're getting like a pain relief shot or something. Know what it is, know the risk, and do not bring it to Alabama, because this has been illegal since 2016 in Alabama, and it's illegal enough to, if you have enough of it, you can face life in prison.
Well, and whatever the law may be where you reside or where you're at, folks, it's always a good rule of thumb to know what you're putting in your body. Just kind of saying, well, we'll try this out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, probably not the best strategy if you want to, stay alive. But I appreciate.
Right, and it's not FDA approved either. And I mean, all of this gas station stuff, like probably medicine from the gas station that's in these colorful bottles, like probably not the best idea. So.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate your time as always, Erica. If folks want to follow the work you're doing, how can they do so?
Please go to 1819news.com and check us out. And you can also subscribe on our website, and you can get an email each day of all of our top headlines. You'll get one email every morning, and you won't have to go scrounging around for all the headlines of the news that you need to see. We'll just send it to you.
Well, appreciate it, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Again, that is Erica Thomas of 1819 News. Let's see what comments are rolling in here. Oh no, Romex Angler's at it again.
He's got a class coming up this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, he says Romex Angler on the live stream again, folks, on YouTube. Joey Clark live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Joey Clark live. Romex says, I am starting a women's study program on the weekend if y'all are interested. Oh. Lesson 1, understanding they are all a little crazy. What do you mean little?
Right.
Lesson 2, why your opinion should be kept quiet and the endless trouble that follows if you don't. Well, man, I feel like I've learned a lot just from these two little lines.
Yeah? Feel you're already learning, Joey?
And Gumtown John says, oh, I thought you were focusing more on the anatomy of women through the historical Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions. What a toxic male comment that is. Yeah. Romex responds, anatomy was going to be second semester. All men should have knowledge on the emotional trauma that comes with women before the physical. It will save folks a lot of angst.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
You want to learn the laws first.
Yeah.
Then you can learn how to learn. The rest will follow.
How about this? We got another break, but first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you out with that roof of yours. There's a reason people refer to them as the premier roofing contractor in these parts. Because, number one, that inspection, and you should get inspected pretty frequently. Manufacturers say 3 to 5 years.
Right.
I say do it each year. Why not?
Yeah, I definitely would. Especially here in Alabama, the extremes that we have, from the extreme cold to the extreme heat.
But Joey, how much is that going to cost if I have to get it inspected every year? Well, if you do it with River Region Contracting, nothing. It'll be free. Their inspections at River Region Contracting are always free. And their estimates, if they do find a problem, are free.
Yep.
And they're accurate.
Accurate. That's what I really like.
And wait, these guys show up on time?
They show up on time. They don't leave a big mess, which
Yeah.
I really appreciate again. And it happens a lot of times, not by, anyone specifically doing it on purpose, but you end up with a nail in your tire. You're like, man, I just had a roof put on. I wonder if that's connected.
I had to cut back some bushes.
Yeah.
And at my grandfather's place, and I kept finding a bunch of trash.
See?
I'm like,
Oh, I've seen
you
Coke
should have called
bottles.
River Region Contracting. Yeah.
I've seen just plain trash. Yeah.
Ugh.
Doesn't
So-
happen with these folks, man.
You need to go with these great folks. Again, show up on time, and they're insurance specialists, so they can walk you through a claims process if you do have a problem you want to work out through your insurance plan. They got your back there at River Region Contracting. So call them today, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. We got a quick break here. Not too long, though.
Okay.
Be right back.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
It's fall, y'all, at Mama's Produce, and boy, do we have what you need. We have mums of every color. Corn stalks will be in soon, pumpkins. We have fall flowers and fall vegetables. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Mama's Produce. We post what we have as soon as it comes in so that you're right there. Check out our gift ideas as well.
Y'all come on down to Mama's. It's right next to Prattville Farm Center, 1154 South Memorial Drive. Everybody loves Mama's.
I'm Brett Lanham from Benjamin Moore New Look, and we couldn't have imagined how easy, affordable, and flexible advertising on the radio could be. It has been near effortless on our part. You could say our last 2 years have been the best in 10 because of a skyrocketing GDP. I say it's owed to Blue Water Broadcasting and their advertising staff.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
News happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, we don't have much time left here in the hour, so let's do a thing, Eddie.
All right. What are we going to do?
Let's do a little thing, meme magic here.
All right.
Now, this is a meme I posted on the Book of Faces, but I think it's a good question. And it's from Mason Cross. He says, my daughter actually submitted this feedback at school. Not sure if I should ground her or buy her ice cream.
Okay.
Now, it's one of those stupid little questionnaires you fill out at the end of the year if you're a student.
Yep.
Like a
little survey.
Little survey. How'd your teacher do?
Mm-hmm.
And so the one question that Mason's child, his daughter, answered was things my teachers can do better. And here's what his daughter wrote. Not use collective punishment, as it is not fair on the many people who did nothing And under the 1949 Geneva Conventions, it is a war crime.
Yep.
Should she be grounded or get ice cream?
Ice cream.
Yeah, I'm going to say ice cream. In fact, I'm going to ground you, little missy, and I'm going to buy you all the ice cream you want. You don't even have to go to school anymore. You're too smart for school.
Well, when you give her that ice cream, you're going to have to give her the real news and go, look, in the real world, this is the way it works, whether you're in school or you're in a job. A lot of times, instead of them calling out the few, they punish the masses because they don't have the cojones to call out the few.
And even though they drew up the thing at the Geneva Convention, what is or is not a war crime, you think that's stopping anybody?
Not that I know of. Stop. You're about to commit a war crime. I don't think that's ever been said.
That's kind of the problem. What we keep going back to that. Like LeMay in World War II said, if we lost to the Japanese and Germans, we would be hung as war criminals.
Yep, exactly right.
It's like, that's why in total war you better win.
Yeah.
Honestly, in total war, it's a huge waste. But I like that kid's spirit. It is a war crime. Collective punishment is never justified.
Certainly.
272-9228. Final hour. Coming up in another hour.
Okay.
I'm ahead of myself today. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a 3-hour show, not a 2-hour show. So second hour coming up, and then after the second hour will be the final hour.
That'll be the third hour.
That'll be the third one.
Yeah.
And that's the last one we do, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unless we hang out with Greg.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. America's employers posted 8.8 million job openings in November, down slightly from October and the fewest since March 2021. But demand for workers remains strong by historical standards. The number of job vacancies dipped from 8.9 million in October. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has collected enough signatures to appear on the 2024 presidential ballot in Utah. The independent has met the 1,000 signature requirement needed to qualify for the Utah ballot and can officially file to run as a presidential candidate in that state. California lawmakers returning to work. They're facing a projected $68 billion budget deficit. The Dow is down 137 points, the Nasdaq losing 113. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Hi, everybody. No doubt about it. We are getting into a very active weather pattern over the next several days, really. Today, a little Gulf Coast disturbance will bring in some showers, cold rain later on this afternoon and into this evening before ending later on tonight. A chilly day, you bet, with a high temperature only in the mid-40s, turning colder after the rain ends later on tonight, low 32. Sunshine briefly returns on Thursday and Friday, lower 50s on Thursday, upper 50s on Friday. Then another storm system brings in rain and thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday, with another big one next week. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you once again for voting ASE the best credit union and best mortgage company in Central Alabama's Reader's Choice Awards. We're honored to serve our members for 69 years and counting.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, your ASE.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Governor Kay Ivey has set an execution date for death row inmate Kenneth Eugene Smith. The execution will begin at 6 p.m. on January 25th. Smith was sentenced to death in the 1988 murder-for-hire killing of Elizabeth Sennett. If successful, Smith's will be the nation's first execution by nitrogen hypoxia. Alabama continues to rank in the top level of the very high category for flu cases in the country. The Alabama Department of Health also released a report which showed there was a 46% increase in people who went to the emergency room with symptoms of respiratory illness in December. Former Montgomery County Sheriff Dan Jones has died. Jones passed away on New Year's Day at the age of 84. Dan Jones spent his entire law enforcement career with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office and served as sheriff from 1991 to 1999. Funeral plans have not yet been announced. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Primal Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Primal Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. Of course, we got more fallout from the resignation of President Gay, but there's other things going on in the world. In particular, Vivek Ramaswamy knocking things out of the park there on the campaign trail. He's done, everybody's bragging about a full Grassley. You go to all 99 counties in Iowa, and Ron DeSantis has done the full Grassley. Well, Vivek's done it twice now. I think first time anybody's ever done that. Visit all 99 counties twice. The guy is doing retail politics to the hilt. He's trying to make inruns around, say, the corporate leviathans that run the media, that run institutional politics in this country. I'm not predicting it. I think Trump's going to be far and wide the winner in Iowa. But it would be amazing to see Vivek Ramaswamy pull a huge upset when it comes to the polling there in that first of the nation state. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's go to Randall first. Hey, Randall, how you doing?
How y'all doing, folks?
Doing all right.
Man, yeah. There's two things to touch on, I guess, because y'all was talking about AI earlier and suing and stuff. And it looks like they had it when we was talking about, we was talking about blockchain information, a few weeks ago, and maybe, you trying to get it where I can understand it a little better, because in 1886, they let corporations become entities. Mm-hmm. And the way this is feeling, that they're about to let AI become an entity. And then we talk, if you check some of these lawyer schools out, they are running their all their stuff. If you an attorney school, you're gonna be a lawyer through the out. You know, they did that against. They tried to bring that thing out. Can they just change the name up where you ran a Scott said against? I was going to tell you, he told me that part, against each other's work in college to see if y'all copied. Well, this thing is seeing if you use AI or not. And it gave one boy 1%. It said 1% of it, and they failed him. So now his peers are not turning in nothing, and they're saying it's because of presumption of guilt. They're about to bring a lawsuit up. And plus, using a priority software for privacy is evading privacy and stealing international intellectual property. And they're not turning the work in. So some folks are making a stand out there against it. It feels to me like I was gonna ask you that they fixing to tear down our information highway, and we're not trusting nothing that nobody says and put us on blockchain. Is that do you feel that's one of the things I want you to kind of be feeling your way through? Because vicarious infringement is easy to prove. They've proven it, and that's money. You know what I mean? People could actually lose money over this. Proving a copyright infringement, jail time, it'll be a little harder. But the vicarious infringement, man, it reads like you can get. It's so easy to find guilty of that, and so you could be found having to pay somebody money for something you run through AI. Say, hey, I wanted to have this feeling, and you just tell it to change the feeling, and so it changes some of the words. But I also got an app down or a program that can tell that tells on you. So this it feels like if they make AI entity hold on to your boots, So and then on the Auburn thing, Will done a write-up, basically, like, I don't even know when the write-up was, but he done 18 to break Auburn, turned it into California. Pretty good little write-up. But if you break it down, it's been a fight ever since they tried to move it from 66 feet. You know how I'm about these numbers? And the group that was doing it had 13 meetings in 1 year. Like the 1366, I don't know. I just want to.
Oh Lord, don't start with the numerology with me this afternoon.
I'm not. I just want to dump that. But it says the people from Keep Auburn Lovely is they wanted at 45, and the 65 is the legal limit outside of the historic part. But if they would have just done it like had a 12-foot ceiling for living, 14-foot for office, and 16 for business on top, you know what I mean? You could have kept everybody happy, But now I think it's more the property owners that have done it, and then putting Dempsey in charge when he's got property there and was the president at one time of who you listening to. Like that don't make much sense either. But the property owners are wanting to get more money. So how you get more money out of the property? You use the airspace. Because you can't go no wider because you know what I mean? So the property owners are y'all problem there at 100%, I believe. Keep Auburn Lovely, man. They got it. I don't know if they still in business, but they fighting.
Well, and I think Auburn was just being used as an example by the Wall Street Journal as a larger trend around the nation. And Auburn just had amazing growth and like how big its budget's grown in the last, say, 15, 20 years. But on the blockchain issue and on the rise of artificial intelligence, I tend to think, just like we saw with, Twitter, now X platform, that a lot of your best solutions are going to be technology responding to technology or private players responding to private players. I think the urge to regulate things too much ends up just being private players using the government to beat the competitors over the head. But there is a real issue that you bring up and everybody's seeing with the breakdown of truth with artificial intelligence. You already hinted at it, that you can't trust certain things. So now we have programs that check to see if you used AI, whether it's on videos or photos or things you're writing. And then also when it comes to blockchain, I think blockchain is a solution. I don't fully understand it, but it would be a way to essentially break down the big data model we currently have. The way Google and so many of these other powerhouses of the tech space operate is everything's through big data on the cloud. And I think blockchain will change that, where blockchain will introduce what's much more a market idea, where you learn things through the give and take of a price system and the give and take of discrete information that's distributed all over the place. And if we got time here, Randall, this is a clip. It's a few years old now, but you ever heard of a guy named George Gilder?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, somebody Gilbert, the one that got the little high pitched voice.
No. George Gilder.
Okay, no, sir, I haven't.
Here, let's listen into this.
ready to hear.
This was on Peter Robinson's Uncommon Knowledge. Let's listen in together. I think I'm remembering this right.
Blockchain technology will address the doldrums of centralization, insecurity, and sclerosis afflicting the current information economy. Okay, now how's that? IPOs are down. This is the Peter Thiel argument that we're just not getting the innovation that it feels as though we should have, right?
Yeah.
And how does blockchain jumpstart that, the whole economy?
Well, it's because blockchain corresponds with the reality of the world, which is the ultimate thinking element is the human mind, individual human minds, each one different, each one with a potential of its own, which can make its own contribution. And blockchain is an answer to this cloud mind, which I call sky computing, which you described so well with the computers and smartphones all around the world, contributing their cycles as needed to perform supercomputer computations as required, or 3D rendering from the internet, that is having 3D experiences provided across the internet, all from the skies, open skies, rather than from the clouds of Google, Facebook, and the rest of the giants, Apple and Amazon, and which are the biggest companies in the world, and a tremendous upset. I'm not for any kind of attacks on them. I'm of government regulation or whatever. I don't think that that's the problem at all. I think the problem is that they have a business plan and a technological solution that's inappropriate to a world full of individual human minds.
Okay,
so Gilder, this guy we just heard talking there, Randall, he called a lot of the future in the early 90s. He essentially saw the rise of the cell phone and the smartphone and how the internet infrastructure would start to work. And so what he's just saying there, that's real basic. That blockchain allows actual individuals on the internet, and you're not constantly having your backside out there for every big company to manipulate and sell your data. You could actually have a working, almost like what we used to have in this country, with a working market on the internet.
So I can send you something and Eddie can't change it in between.
Right, exactly right.
Is all right. And then, but what checks it to be like to make it concrete once I send it out there? Like how we going, like, bars to get this going? Like, how I'm gonna know I ain't been lied to from the jump? Like,
well, that's a problem that's as old as time, man. That's never going away.
Right.
You've got to use your wits and your best judgment. Like, even if you're relying on experts, which we all do, you got to still, at the end of the day, pick your expert.
Yeah.
So that's never going to go away.
And we
no
have
matter
that
the time.
challenges even today with payment plans where you think you're paying one person one thing and end up you're paying, someone's hacked your account and you've got a total stranger, so you have to have somebody else get involved to get your money back. I don't know if that'll ever be fixed.
And then on Gilder, I'm just go study him. If he is connected in any way with his work with Nikola Tesla, bro, I'm just you're gonna hear me holler my head because it sounded just like when he was talking about that. That's some of Nikola Tesla's words. Like I don't.
Yeah,
like, I'm just saying. So I can't wait. I'm just dig in.
George Gilder, Gilder, and the interview. It's about 48 minutes that I was playing from. That's George Gilder. Forget cloud computing. Blockchain is the future.
Heck, man, thank y'all.
You're welcome.
All right, Randall.
New Year to y'all, bro. We'll see y'all.
Happy New Year, bro.
I didn't expect to talk about that today, but when you take a call from Randall, you never
know.
You never
and
know.
it's always good.
This part of the program brought to you by XI Repair.
Oh, yeah.
And they're at XI Repair. Jonathan Strange and that great team there are ready to help you out. Now, folks, don't forget about some of these great bundles and all these electronic accessories they have there at XI Repair.
Right.
When you're buying that quick, charger from the gas station, you're probably buying a product that's destroying your phone.
Yep.
Why not go with professional grade, folks that actually repair phones, that actually know the in and out of phones, and that's XI Repair. And of course, they can help you with things like a cracked screen on that smartphone of yours, or a dirty port that's not connecting. Could be you've got a water damage of some sort, or a virus, or you're locked out of your account. They can help you with all that there at XI Repair. They can even do work on computers, desktop, laptop computers, even top-end gaming consoles like a PlayStation 5.
Right.
They can also do data recovery. So if you accidentally deleted some big project you didn't have backed up, or maybe a big collection of family photos you had digitally and didn't have it saved, they can recover that.
Yeah.
Or it could be somebody deleted information on purpose because you're trying to divorce them, and they knew that text message was going to come back to bite them. Well, that deleted text message can still be found. Contact XI Repair today, or have your attorney at least contact them for whatever you need when it comes to those electronic repairs and fixes and high-quality products. XI Repair is the place to go. You can always go to xirepair.com or give them a call at 777-1234. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Getting 272-9228 if you want to call in to the show. That's 272-9228. But there's a lot going on besides President Gay resigning.
Yeah.
Did you see this statement from the Florida Surgeon General?
No, I don't think I did.
This is direct.
Okay.
Florida State Surgeon General calls for halt in the use of COVID-19 mRNA vaccines. From Tallahassee, Florida, on December 6, 2023, State Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo sent a letter to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner and the CDC Director regarding questions pertaining to the safety assessments and the discovery of billions of DNA fragments per dose of the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 mRNA vaccines. You know, we talked about this some when it first broke with Dr. Tankersley.
Yep.
But the Surgeon General outlined concerns regarding nucleic acid contaminants in the approved Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, particularly in the presence of lipid nanoparticle complexes and simian virus 40, SV40, promoter enhancer DNA. Do we understand any of this?
Not yet.
Not really. Here's the long and short of it. After getting a response from the FDA, here, and the CDC, here's what the Surgeon General, Dr. Ladapo, had to say. Quote, the FDA's response does not provide data or evidence that the DNA integration assessments they recommended themselves have been performed. Instead, they pointed to genotoxicity studies, which are inadequate assessments for DNA integration risk. In addition, they obfuscate the difference between the SV40 promoter enhancer and the SV40 proteins, two elements that are distinct. DNA integration poses a unique and elevated risk to human health and to the integrity of the human genome, including the risk that DNA integrated into sperm or egg gametes could be passed on to offspring of mRNA COVID-19 vaccine recipients. If the risk of DNA integration have not been assessed for these vaccines are not appropriate for use in human beings. Providers concerned about patient health risk associated with COVID-19 should prioritize patient access to non-mRNA COVID-19 vaccine and treatment. It is my hope that, in regards to COVID-19, the FDA will one day seriously consider its regulatory responsibility to protect human health, including the integrity of the human genome. So the Florida Surgeon General not pulling any punches, essentially saying, hey, this was shown as a big problem with these vaccines.
Yeah.
I asked y'all for clarification. You came back with a bunch of stuff way too cute by half. It wasn't like, oh, we just got it wrong. Like, no, that's not a problem.
Right.
And maybe it would trick the average bear like me with this stuff. This guy ain't buying it.
Good.
A lot
Glad
of
to
other
see somebody else
top-notch
standing
folks.
up.
So I appreciate that.
Especially
coming
when
out of the
they're
great
still
state of
pushing
Florida.
these vaccines. I
What is
cannot get over
who's still getting these things?
Yeah.
Do you
Cannot
see
get
that
over it.
exchange between Seth MacFarlane and Bill Maher about all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody got educated, didn't they?
No, but McFarlane's like, my bottom line is, even though the health resources were inadequate in this country, I think they did a great job during it. Really?
Fed much?
You know, I love this. It's like, the government leading up to that, crisis where they really screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
to the point of catastrophe. Yeah, they weren't leading up to that catastrophe all that great, but when the catastrophe came, they passed with flying colors.
Right then, man.
How the hell does that make any sense? Kind of the rally around the flag effect, I guess, except it's not war. It's kind of like, 9/11 happens. And instead of being like, what the hell were y'all doing? Why didn't you take out bin Laden before? The hell? Everybody's like, we'll rally around George W. Bush. We're going to save our country. And that's the government for you, whether you're talking about war or...
Never accept fault, never accept blame. Like I said, they're still pushing these vaccines, and we all know that they're poison, but they're still going to push them.
Yep.
Still running commercials, still buying advertisement. They even got it in the NFL. That's one of the theories with the whole Taylor Swift thing.
Oh, with Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he's Mr. Pfizer.
Oh, I know. Well, he's getting paid.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, literally, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, in a game, they played a commercial with him in it, pushing the vaccine.
Oh. I hope he gets his heart broken. I think they're going to break up.
When the government tells them to. Yeah.
That's why I like you, Eddie. I like the way you think. And in other big news today, Iran.
Yeah.
Iran. It literally, folks, in Iran, they have signs for English speakers that say, this is how it's said. It's not Iran, it's Iran.
Right. But we Americans, we go, yeah, whatever, Iran.
Stop trying to change words.
Turkey. Remember.
It's like that book, 1984.
Yeah.
Putting things down the memory hole. I grew up saying Iran. Damn it, I'm going to say Iran.
How do they say
Iran?
How do they say America? Do they say America or do they say America?
That's America.
Right.
That's what they say. Or at least that's what I learned from Mad TV. But Iran says that at least 103 people killed, 141 others wounded, and blasted a ceremony honoring Soleimani. Now, this was at a fairly sizable city just south of the capital, Tehran.
Correct.
And of course, Soleimani was the guy who was like essentially there.
Assassinated 4 years ago
by Trump. Yeah. And he was the head of intelligence, essentially, the head of like the military and all sorts of operations. Like he was the guy.
Yep.
That in large part ran that government. Well, Trump killed him, and they're trying to honor him 3-4 years later.
About 4 years.
And nobody yet, not from what I've seen, unless it's broken since I looked, has taken credit for this.
Look at the attack, and you tell me who first comes to mind.
Israelis?
Duh.
Yeah.
Even Fox a while ago came out and said Israelis haven't admitted blame.
Haven't admitted it, yeah.
Yeah. You could just read the report and go, oh, yeah, well, that's the Israelis. It's no different than when you read a report of someone getting poisoned. You go, oh, yeah, that was Putin.
So I guess peace in the Middle East ain't going to happen anytime soon.
Dude, too many people don't want it. We're the only ones that do.
And I said just to the south of Tehran? No, like 800 miles south of Tehran in the city of Kerman. I'm looking at the map, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's way south.
That country looks like the surface of Mars, so it's
a shame. I'd love to go there just in terms of it's like anywhere else on Earth. I'd imagine the everyday people are great. You can have great food, music, and friendship, and yet there are a bunch of just a-hole thugs that run the country and run the place. Just a shame.
Look at Gaza. The people that are causing the issues in Gaza don't even live in Gaza.
Yeah. You're right. Do we think that way about our own leaders? Kind of. I kind of do.
I kind of wish a few of them would move.
Yeah. You're giving me a bad name, bro.
And again, that's something as a kid when we were living overseas, I didn't understand it when people said they hated America. They hated me. They didn't hate me. They hated our politicians. And now that I've gotten older, I understand.
So let's do a thing here where we hit a break.
All right.
And coming back, we've got a few choices to pick from here, Eddie.
Okay.
But first, I think I want to do one that's kind of a history thing.
All right.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to make you guess what this guy is watching.
Boy, here we go. I'll get my Google ready.
Yeah, get your Google ready. Whatever that means. What do you mean, get your Google ready? Just weird, perverted.
Let me get the Google. Let me warm it up.
Folks, we'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Rich Thomas Weather. Hi, everybody. No doubt about it. We are getting into a very active weather pattern over the next several days, really. Today, a little Gulf Coast disturbance will bring in some showers, cold rain later on this afternoon and into this evening before ending later on tonight. A chilly day, you bet, with a high temperature only in the mid-40s, turning colder after the rain ends later on tonight, low 32. Sunshine briefly returns on Thursday and Friday. Lower 50s on Thursday, upper 50s on Friday. Then another storm system brings in rain and thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday, with another big one next week. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
In the house.
How you doing?
A little chilly.
It is chilly outside. A little chilly. To say, it really is. Now, let's play a little game here.
All right.
I'm going to pull up a guy on the screen here, and you can see him.
Guilty.
Now, he's really excited about a thing. Like, really excited indeed.
I'm right here watching history be made.
He's right here watching history be made. So there's a little hint there. What do you think he's going to talk about? What history did this guy witness? And I'll give you a hint. Another one. It was about 10 years ago. I'm sitting here watching history be made.
Dude, I'll be honest. I don't know. I can't get past his eyebrows that have been butchered.
Yeah. We'll just play the thing.
Play it, yeah, because
I'm right here watching history be made. Bitcoin is now up to $111. It's an all-time high, and it's continuing to rise. I've seen it break 3 times today. It went up to 110, and this is the highest that it's been. It's ridiculous.
This was in 2013.
Wow. 2013. Oh, wow.
I remember the first Bitcoin I ever bought was $90.
Man, I didn't buy it until maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, I know. Wow. Oh no, I still would say I had 4 or 5 at one point.
I got a feeling you're going to be on your deathbed, and maybe one of your grandsons will come up to you and say, "Joey, do you have any regrets?" You're still going to say, "That damn Bitcoin I bought."
And I think Bitcoin got up to like 46,000. So this guy's celebrating 10 years ago. It get past $100 a Bitcoin, folks.
Per coin too, right? That was per coin, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's 46 grand a coin. Though here's the internet always wins. Jim Cramer on CNBC.
God, I can't stand
He
him.
finally came out and said, "I think Bitcoin's here to stay," and then Bitcoin dropped 7%.
Of course. Dude, he is the worst. He is the worst. Oh, I cannot stand him, man.
Yeah, and as soon as Cramer says sell Bitcoin, that's when you need to buy it.
Yes, guaranteed. If you look back, and he caught a lot of crap for it. When the stock market went to hell, he was the one screaming, "Buy, buy, buy, buy," as it was just steadily falling. Yeah. How they put him back on the air with no disregard for what he's done.
If you're running that station, though, you're like, this guy's shameless. He'll say anything we tell him to say. We got to keep him.
That's the day I learned that he is shameless. He will fill my mouth with farts. That's that guy right there. He is him. That you can get him to say anything you want. Just pay him the right amount of money.
And by the way, folks, I recommended earlier that George Santos's new nickname or stage name or drag name or whatever should be President Gay.
Yeah.
And the head of operations, formerly for George Santos, really liked that. He's trying to get Santos to adopt.
I think it's a good idea.
It's such a small world. You got to love certain aspects of this weird world we live in these days.
And Santos being Santos, I can see him embracing that.
Yeah. We'll get him on the show eventually. Probably after. I want to talk to him while he's in prison. Like, you'll live forever. President Gay, you'll live forever.
I'd like to talk to him when he's on his way, maybe a day or so away from prison, because he's got nothing to lose. He's angry. He's got bridges to burn. In prison, they might get to him by then, hence Buddy Epstein.
Now, shifting gears, there was an interesting endorsement of Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh, yeah? Saw him
last night.
This weekend.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't like huge high profile, but I know, to me at least.
Yeah.
But I know Vivek did this on purpose, because the big endorsement given by a man of Iowa to Vivek in Iowa, just a few days out from the Iowa caucus. You remember former Congressman Steve King?
I remember the name.
Right. And he was run out of Congress because he's talked about how great white nationalism is or something.
That was him, yep.
Right. Well, that guy endorsed Vivek Ramaswamy. I have a feeling Vivek knew exactly what was coming his way as he celebrated Steve King giving him that endorsement. So what happened is, exchange between a Washington Post reporter and Mr. Ramaswamy.
Interesting.
After this endorsement, this is a masterclass in how it's done, folks. I'll put it that way. A masterclass. I think one of our commenters, Gumtown John, said, Vivek is a much better communicator than Trump, not even close.
No doubt.
And this guy, again, he's a machine. He's done the full Grassley, 99 counties in Iowa, twice. Never been done before. And they're always live streaming these town halls he's doing. He's great. He handles difficult situations well. He answers people's questions well. When he makes a mistake, he laughs at himself, and he's self-deprecating in many ways. His wife is just impressive as heck. Seeing that cute kid on the campaign trail, I'll just be shocked if more Americans don't come around to this guy.
Also, he's no Johnny-come-lately. You can look at his history. Yeah. He's had the same thought process. Yep. He's not jumping on any kind of bandwagon anyway, since he was 18 years old.
Right. Did you see the graduation speech he gave?
Yes.
That's pretty much his message today.
That's what I found so frustrating.
High school graduation.
As many people as I saw get behind the candidate Ross Perot for the same things that he was saying, Vivek is putting it down where the goats can pick it up, and not as many people are getting behind him as I'd like to see. That's a damn shame.
So here's this exchange. Again, Steve King endorses former Congressman Vivek Ramaswamy. Of course, everybody goes, hey, isn't that the guy who was like super duper racist and we kicked him out?
He was no David Duke, but.
Right. They'll play that game too.
Yeah, it's coming.
Sometimes you're like, David, are you CIA? Because you keep endorsing certain folks who are just like, shut up, man. Go away. Anyway. Here's the exchange between Ramaswamy and this reporter.
In 2019, Steve King said white nationalist, white supremacist.
According to who? Yeah, according to the New York Times, which he has challenged the existence of whether he actually ever said that to the New York Times. They have not produced one recording of it. And if anybody has provided one other eyewitness account that verifies whatever it is, I'm just not one of these people that treats the New York Times as the Bible. I'm sorry, It's not. They've lied to us for years about everything from the pandemic that shut down this country for the last several years to each of the last two presidential elections, from tech-suppressed information in the last one to what happened with the federal police state that tried to infiltrate Donald Trump's campaign in 2016 and stopped him from governing. So you could just go all the way back to the Iraq War, to the truth about what happened with the basis for the bailouts. You can go back as far as you want to the front pages of the New York Times to tell you enough to be skeptical of what you read. I've gotten to know a man, and if what Steve King tells me versus what the front page of the New York Times tells me about what he actually said, I'll take Steve King's word over what some fake reporter has said without an iota of proof attached to it.
Do you condemn white supremacy and white nationalism?
Wow. Did you hear that question as the follow-up?
I did, but I just...
And it's what Craig Monger was talking about the other day, that upspeak.
Yeah.
Do you condemn white
Yes.
nationalism and white supremacy? Okay, let's back it up a little bit. Let's hear this answer.
Attached to it.
Do you condemn white supremacy and white nationalism?
I mean, who are you with? It's Washington Post. All right, so potato, okay. Of course, I condemn any form of vicious racial discrimination in this country. But I think that the presumption of your question is fundamentally based on a falsehood that really is the main form of racial discrimination we see in this country today.
Right.
Institutionalized racism is institutionalized racial discrimination that we see that doesn't come from somehow discriminating against people on the basis of some tenet of white supremacy. It's based on affirmative action. It's based on actually discriminating against people on the color of their skin in a way that's actually institutionalized today. Was there a point in our history, at points in our prior national history, where there have been vicious forms of anti-black or anti-brown discrimination throughout this country after the Civil War and otherwise? Yes. But you're looking in the rearview mirror and using that to pose a question today that is so far removed from what the reality is in America today. This myth of white supremacy, the closest you can find is Jussie Smollett, where you all were actually, speaking of trust in the media, jumping up and down over some false narrative. The best way you're able to find your best instance of white supremacy was a guy who was actually paying his other fellow people to be actually staging something that didn't happen. And so stop picking on this farce of some figment that exists at some infinitesimally small fringe of the American public today to open our eyes to the actual real threats that we face. And I think that it's frankly questions and framings like that that has caused the American public to lose all trust in the mainstream media, I'm sorry to say, for good reason.
Now, he keeps going here in a second because she does not relent.
Oh.
But this just came to mind with everything in the news today with President Gay and, Vivek hitting back hard on being backed into a corner. Do you condemn white supremacy and nationalism? Do you think there are still people walking around, like here in Montgomery? I don't care if you're white or you're black or whatever. I think there are still people walking around these parts who think OJ didn't do it.
Yeah.
Wow. Just going to let that simmer for a second.
Yeah.
Do we have to do this every few years? Come up with some ridiculous hoax that people are made to believe because of their loyalties to things they can't control? Or,
well, some people like it to stay down there, Joey. Just like, we talk about peace in the Middle East. There's a lot of people that don't want that. There's a lot of people that don't want racial equality here, and there's a lot of people that just don't want everybody just to get along. If they see that happening too much, they throw a wrench in it every single time. And that's locally, too.
I was just wondering that because when did all the OJ stuff go down? What, early 90s? Like 91?
Oh, I don't even know. I have to Google that. But
I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, so I obviously wasn't paying attention to it back then. But you can watch old Norm Macdonald clips of when he was on Update.
To the point of the rumor always was that he was told either stop doing that or we're going to fire you.
Well, and from Ohlmeyer. Yeah. Because Ohlmeyer and OJ were friends.
Yes, they were buddies.
And then one of the jokes, I think if I can remember it right, is Johnny Cochran was presenting evidence to the jury, talking about, and she was showcasing the knit cap.
Oh, yeah.
Found there on the scene. And, I think OJ didn't help his case when he impromptu yelled out, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat. Murder is now legal in the state of California, folks. Yeah.
But
there are folks who still think OJ was innocent.
If you look at that whole trial, though, I mean, look at just the dismay and all that came out of that. They took something that seemed to be pretty clear cut and just, I mean, even the defense did better than the prosecutors, but even at one point, I think the prosecutors were sleeping together. It was ridiculous. Remember the Judge Ito? He had to have his time on the camera. What was
Didn't
all that?
Furman have like Nazi memorabilia too? Like
I mean, but that just goes to show if you can hit America at the right time, even when we see something as clear cut as that, people can fog it up and create doubt. I mean,
it's just, yeah, exactly. I'm just shaking my head. We're not designed for truth. We're designed for, what we want to believe.
When you think about the riots and everything, it just...
goodness. Romex Angler saying OJ was innocent. Of what?
Oh, man. There's a book out there about OJ's son doing it. And if you read that book, you'll swear
You think
to
it was
God,
OJ's son?
After reading that book, I'm telling you, I was like...
Why? Somebody killed those two.
Right.
Did they ever find the killer?
OJ's still looking.
He's still looking.
Somewhere in Florida. Narrowed it down to Florida.
And by the way, the fact that OJ Simpson is on the X platform and gives his hot takes on, we need to look up.
I forgot about
did
that.
OJ say anything about President Gay getting, resigned?
I'll look that up because I would not be surprised if he had a comment. Right. But I got to start following him on the X.
Anyway, this reporter from the Washington Post won't let it go with Vivek. We're going to get him in the corner like we've gotten Republicans for years.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which absolutely fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. The reality is, I condemn vicious racial discrimination in this country, but the kind of vicious and systematic racial discrimination we see today is discrimination on the basis of race in a very different direction. You want to know what the best way is to end discrimination on the basis of race? Stop discriminating on the basis of race.
Yeah.
Do that, and we're going to move this country forward. And I don't care whether you're black or white or brown or anything in between. That's how we're going to unite this country. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point, creating a projection of national division. I meet people from the south side of Chicago to meetings like this one of every shade of melanin, multiple, from man to woman, doesn't make a difference, who are hungry for reviving unity in this country. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you. Look people in the eye and tell them what you've actually failed to tell them for the last 5 years. Own the accountability for your own failures as the media. That's how we rebuild trust in this country. And until then, I don't have a lot of patience to play the games.
Wow.
I like it. Again, I don't understand how 99% of American citizens are not standing up behind this guy going, this is our guy. I get it. We all want Trump in there.
Sure, and Trump's strong.
And Trump is strong, but it just, to me, there's not enough support to even say this is our backup guy. He's having to work too hard to be as good as he is.
No, but let's be honest. There's a good segment of the Republican Party.
Oh, I know.
There are a bunch of corporate shills and sellouts, number one.
That's one.
And then some who, for honest ideological reasons, want to go back essentially to the George W. Bush years.
Okay,
or even
two.
go back to like George H.W. Bush. Or let's,
That's two.
Yeah.
But there's one more. There's a large amount of people that do not like him because he doesn't look like them. Period.
Wait, are you telling me that the guys who's against vicious racial discrimination, who's being put in a box by the left-wing demagogues that are shouting out against demagoguery, Vivek's apparently, being like Van Jones saying he's a step away from like Hitlerian language, that guy's actually not going to get support because there are other folks being racist against him.
Yep.
It's amazing how our politics works.
Yep.
What is that old line? I hadn't said it in a while. Democracy is the theory that the common man knows what he wants and he deserves to get it good and hard.
Yep.
I guess we're going to get it good and hard this year, but I thought that was a masterclass of how to deal with the media there by Vivek Ramaswamy. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team, especially the lovely and talented Madeline Cannon working alongside the lovely and talented Kim. Well, they can help you, whether you're looking to buy a new home here in the new year, or maybe you're looking to refinance a place. And it could be for whatever reason. It could be like, you know what? I got a big idea. I'm going to start a business. I had a big idea. I'm going to help my kid out as they're graduating from college, or maybe they're not going to college. We're going to try to, though, lubricate that path so they can hit the road running. It could be you got a cash flow issue, or you're under, say, a mountain of debt.
Yeah.
It's a common thing these days with credit cards. Any of those reasons is a good reason to refinance. But, of course, you want to talk to Kim and Madeline first. They'll really get to know you, understand your goals and whether you're buying or refinancing, and they'll get you the best possible deal. And if you're a veteran, you definitely need to work with Alabama Home Mortgage. They're VA home loan certified. They know the latest when it comes to those VA home loan programs. These are benefits you veterans earn through your service. Don't leave money on the table because they're the best game in town by far. So that number for Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones.
All right.
And talk to Michael Cohen. Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Michael, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
doing quite well, powering through, already enjoying the new year. Now, I mentioned it in passing yesterday, but y'all have some great grilling options there at Cohen's. Let's talk about those a little bit.
All right. Well, for the people that want to do the grilling with charcoal, we have a nice Kamado Joe. They make a couple of different sizes, and we have those available. The one I like the best is the Napoleon, which is gas. I like it for the sear station, that you can get it up to 1,800 degrees, and you can grill a steak just like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And then we also have the Traeger for the people that like the pellet, and that kind of it's a really cool way of grilling, especially when you have the Bluetooth to your phone, and you can control the temperature from sitting in your Lazy Boy.
Oh, I've seen my father do it. I've seen my brother do it. And in fact, I like what you're talking about with the 1,800 degrees on the Napoleon, where you sear that steak like a Ruth Chris's steak. But my brother did this thing where on his Traeger, he smoked some big old thick ribeyes, got them up to temp, and then seared them, did the reverse sear method, and
reverse sear.
Oh, it was so good. That fat was perfect. Oh,
I bet.
So you really can't go wrong. They're all great products. It's just more a matter of preference, right?
Yeah. There's no right or wrong way. It's just everybody's got the different way that they want to do it. And to me, it's like the Kamado Joe is for the guy that wants to get out there and he wants to grill and he wants to drink a 6-pack with his buddy and smoke a cigar, and make it more of an event. Whereas the Traeger kind of gives you the ability that you're not standing over your grill. You can be inside watching your favorite TV show on your new 85-inch Samsung.
Also bought at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Yes.
Yes. So they're all great options. People like me need the gas because that's the easiest.
Right. That's what I would go with as well.
Yeah.
So,
it's like grilling for dummies.
So folks can always go to thinkcohens.com or call y'all at 277-8890. But people, you got to stop by the actual showroom. Go see those smiling faces. See those products in person at 2515 Eastern Boulevard right here in Montgomery?
Yes, sir. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. We're here on Saturdays, 9 to 4. And come on in and ask us a bunch of questions. Let us ask you some questions, and let us help you make the right choice.
Well, appreciate it, Michael, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
See you, Michael.
And Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Be sure to tell him you heard about him here on News and Views in the afternoon. That Joey and Eddie sent you. Let's go to Eric the dog.
Hola.
What up, dog?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, looking good.
No, thank you.
I guess not. I don't have y'all on the feed today, but you guys and your politics. What are we going to do? What y'all want to do? Let's do something.
What you want to do?
Let's show them that we're not Let's show them we're not racist and elect Ramaswamy.
Well, I don't think that'll convince them.
I should say I'm down with the program, but I don't think it'll convince anybody. But
yeah,
But,
it's
I mean,
just
you
like
made it-
Whitey to put up a brown guy to pursue their white supremacy. Y'all are
I mean,
talk about
I thought I made
conspiracy
it-
theory.
I thought it made it not racist when we voted for Obama. Didn't that make us not racist?
nah, I was still called a racist shortly thereafter.
I got called a racist because I didn't want to vote for him. I
fell
could be a
for
rich
hope
man.
and
I could be retired like Eddie. I mean,
You
I could
know,
have money
real
like Eddie.
quick, sorry, Eric, I've never been called a racist to my face, or it's been a while. 272-9228. If you think this show is just a bunch of Nazi racism, call us up. 272-9228. Don't be a
Of course,
chicken about
Joey
it.
doesn't answer the phone, so of course he's all about it. Call him up.
Be a big old chicken about it. Go ahead, because it won't hurt me at all.
Duke, he's not talking to you.
Right.
Duke, it's a joke.
Joey's not answering the phones. Call him
No,
up.
if Duke said it,
That's
whatever.
hilarious. No, if you're not being called racist, you probably don't have. You're probably not espousing the right theories anyway, or at least logical theories. I saw a thing today. I sent to Brian earlier. It said I was losing hope in the world, and then I saw this old lady give up her seat for a pregnant man with a beard.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, we got that going for us.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about where we are, right?
Yes, we are pretty much right there, buddy.
Wait, you sure it was a man or just an Italian woman having a hairy day?
Because she could have been Greek.
I know. She got a 6-inch. She got a 6-inch beard, and I do mean beard.
I'm glad you said beard. I didn't know where you're going there. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
We can take being called racist, but you keep it below the line here, all right?
Please call me a racist, please. You know, I worked at this one place one time, and this girl, I used to keep my hair cut really, really short. And every time I get my hair cut, I had a buddy of mine that she talked to, and he's like, she thinks you're a Nazi, right? Or a skinhead. I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, every time you come in here and you got your hair cut, she thinks you're one of those skinheads.
Like American History X? Like what?
Right? Like I'm a little chubbier than old Norton there, but okay. I mean,
What, you never curb stopped?
No, that wasn't my bag. That wasn't my bag. But and the funny part was that I interacted with that particular girl all the time, and she never said a crossword to me or anything. But behind the scenes, the whole time, that's what she was thinking. Yeah. And when I found out, I went and confronted her. I was like, "You really think that about me?"
What'd she say?
Nothing. She blushed, if you can believe it.
I can.
And I was like, "Look, man, just because I sound like this and I talk like this," and I've had people accost me at different places who look at my accent, hear where I'm from, and then they start wanting to go down this mantra of, what they think a typical redneck talks about when they're at home. Oh yeah, yeehaw and other such things. I'm like, dude, grow up. Who are you talking to? You don't know me like that. You don't know me at all.
Well, isn't there a great Key and Peele skit where they do the really layered on thick Southern accent where they're like, and I'll tell you what about these Mexicans. These Mexicans, they're hard-working, God-fearing people. Jose's coming over to the barbecue tomorrow. And they kept just doing that down the line. And it's like, yeah, whatever.
Did you not see the Michigan players and their post-game making fun of Roll Tide?
Oh, I saw that. I was like, that seems pretty accurate.
It was pretty funny, but I couldn't believe how many people got so offended by that. So
if you get offended, you're out there screaming "Roll Tide" with your teeth.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Man.
Take it easy, guys. I'm just playing. But
yeah, there's Roll Tide, then there's Roll Tide.
Right.
There's Roll Tide, and then we're going to the family union to see if I can find a date.
Right.
You gotta be picky.
Well, I gotta find somebody who's also got a hookworm. Oh, man. We can split costs on the pharmaceuticals.
Look there, we don't have to move to get married. Look at her.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's right there.
I got worms.
Yeah.
Do you have hairy legs too?
Hold on.
I got hairy legs.
Yeah, I do.
Stop playing.
Oh,
with it.
shut up, Lindsay.
Oh, there goes your dating profile right there.
Well, Eric, glad to hear you laughing,
right,
man.
Joe.
Happy New Year.
See you, brother.
Happy New Year, fellas. Adios.
Final hour is now coming up on the
Okay.
other side of this break. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the final hour, be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A New Jersey imam was shot and critically wounded outside a mosque in the state's largest city early today. The cleric was shot after 6 a.m. outside the Masjid Muhammad Newark Mosque. There have been no arrests in the shooting. It's unclear what led to the violence and if the imam was targeted. Multiple state capitals have received threats that led to evacuations or lockdowns as police investigated. but there was no evidence of dangerous items that have been found. Connecticut, Kentucky, Michigan, Mississippi, and Montana are among the states that evacuated their capitals early this morning. The stocks remain lower. The Dow's down 141 points. The NASDAQ 90 points in the red. This is SRN News.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-810-3588. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-810-3588. 800-810-3588. 800-810-3588.
Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas Weather. Hi, everybody. No doubt about it. We are getting into a very active weather pattern over the next several days, really. Today, a little Gulf Coast disturbance will bring in some showers, cold rain later on this afternoon and into this evening before ending later on tonight. A chilly day, you bet, with a high temperature only in the mid-40s, turning colder after the rain ends later on tonight, low 32. Sunshine briefly returns on Thursday and Friday, lower 50s on Thursday, upper 50s on Friday. Then another storm system brings in rain and thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday, with another big one next week. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
A big election case over in Georgia hands a victory to a national organization with ties to Alabama. Federal Judge Stephen Jones ruled in favor of True the Vote and against Stacey Abrams, as well as Abrams' organization called Fair Fight, Mark Elias, a former Hillary Clinton lawyer, and the U.S. Department of Justice. Judge Jones determined that after a 3-year legal battle, True the Vote did not violate in any way the Voting Rights Act when the organization got involved in analyzing the Georgia voter rolls after the 2020 presidential election. During that analysis, True the Vote found that there were over 360,000 names still on the voter rolls that were ineligible to vote in the county or the state due to a change in residency. True the Vote is a national organization headed up by Catherine Engelbrecht, and this organization also worked with Greg Phillips of Alabama in gathering the data that was used in the documentary 2,000 Mules. That documentary covered the ballot trafficking operations that were done in Georgia during the 2020 presidential elections. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A new way to enjoy the Mobile Bay waters will be coming to Fairhope. Eastern Shore Charter will be launching from the Fairhope Municipal Pier this year. It'll be in connection to the Blind Tiger restaurant. The daily cruises should start by spring. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
You asked, we listened. Rocky Bottom Materials is now offering full-service landscaping and irrigation installation. Do you need landscape renovations or new landscaping for your property? Tired of dragging water hoses all summer to water your lawn? We can help. Let us create your dream landscape and install an automatic sprinkler system. We can solve any drainage issue in your yard. No more dealing with the mud all winter. Call us at 334-215-3704. Schedule an appointment with our professionals. Rocky Bottom, where beauty and functionality are just a call away.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
In the house, Joey.
Again, as the big voice said, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. So where to, Eddie? Where to? I'm thinking, we'll talk a little Alabama here.
Right.
Now, there is a big race to the north of us. In particular, if you're in the listening audience in Autauga and Elmore County,
Yep.
the brand new Congressional District 6.
Okay.
You're on the Republican side of things. You have the incumbent. He's been up there a while, and I think he's a intelligent, competent fella, Gary Palmer.
Palmer, right.
And then you have the challenger named Jarek Wilkins.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Wilkins, Jarek is offering $10,000 to veterans to get Gary Palmer to debate. On just first blush, before I read the story here, what do you think of that?
So what do you mean? Just make sure I got it right. He's offering $10,000 donation to a veterans group.
Yes.
If Gary will come and
Debate him.
I'm all about debate. So, yeah.
Now, in an attempt to force a political debate, Alabama 6 candidate Jarek Wilkins is upping the ante, offering to donate $10,000 to veterans if Gary Palmer agrees to debate. Wilkins has recently pushed for a debate with Palmer, attempting to mimic the January 24th clash between Alabama 1 candidates and the U.S. Representatives Barry Moore and Jerry Carl fight that we're going to see.
Yeah.
In a social media post, Wilkins claimed he has been attempting to elicit a response from Palmer despite multiple calls for debate. Wilkins also vowed to donate $10,000 to a veterans charity if Palmer agrees to debate. At present, it has been 35 days since I initially reached out to Representative Palmer inviting him to debate, and I've yet to receive any response. So how about this? Congressman Palmer steps up to the debate podium, and I will make a personal donation of $10,000 for our veterans, Wilkins said. This is a chance to turn words into meaningful action for our veterans.
Dude, it's the only way we get to interview folks before we give them the job. It should be a requirement. They should honestly have to spend X amount of hours publicly speaking to the people that they want to give them the job.
Also, I covered this yesterday, getting pretty good traction on the Twitter or the X platform, and on YouTube even. Should Alabama make swatting a felony?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no, I mean, the fact
I was
that
a
it's
little
not,
shocked
it's
when I looked
ridiculous.
it up. Right now it's a Class A misdemeanor, which is what, up to 6 months in prison or a few $1,000 fine, something like that. Yeah.
A lot of ifs.
It's the most serious misdemeanor, but Ohio, I think, just changed it to where it is a minimum of a year if you swat, and then the charges could go to a second-degree felony. I think we have a different type of scheduling here in Alabama, but if somebody gets hurt because of your swatting thing, you could be in prison a long time.
But honestly, I don't think that's going to change until someone in our political leadership.
Oh, no,
gets that happen to.
actually, I'll give him credit.
Yeah?
He hadn't even read it yet because I give him a shout out in the piece, but my rep, Democrat, Philip Insler, reached out to me and said, I'm going to read it, and I'm very interested in making that a felony. Because in particular, the Jewish community in Alabama has received a lot of these threats. And
It
you're
should
seeing
be a nonpartisan type deal.
Yeah.
And they're-
No, and that's what I called for at the end of the piece. I think my senator here in the state of Alabama, Will Barfoot, who's, I think, still committee chair of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, and then Philip Insler, especially because he has all this, sadly, experience recently with the threats to the Jewish community. They should work together in bipartisan fashion and get
why
this
not?
thing across the finish line.
See, these are good ideas that I don't understand why somebody doesn't grab in a hurry and go, hey, this is a bipartisan bill, makes us both look good, and it needs to be done.
Well, and leading up to the session, I'm going to try to do more of this, where it's enough of me waxing poetic and philosophical. I do that like I'm taking a leak. It just comes out of me. But when it comes to just straightforward proposals that we should get the legislature to do, whether it's repealing a law or putting penalties on certain laws, whatever it is, I'm trying to do a little more of those suggestions as we head into the legislative session. Now, there are a few that are home runs that they should hit. The beautiful thing about a home run, Eddie?
Yeah.
Even when you're expected to hit a home run, it's pretty freaking awesome when it happens still.
It's best when you call it.
What's the old school thing? Chicks dig the long ball?
Yep.
Or, the last time I watched baseball faithfully, Braves baseball, but baseball in general, tune into SportsCenter every day, see what's happening with the MLB, was when the home run race was happening between McGuire and Sosa. And even looking back now, they used steroids and enhancing. I'm like, okay, maybe they don't get in the Hall of Fame, but that was a pretty freaking great year.
It kept me and several other people very entertained.
Right. So I don't care if you need to use performance PEDs or whatever you need to do, Alabama legislature. I don't care how many folks are like, you should just go ahead and do this. If you do something like, say, universal school choice, that's a home run, and you will be celebrated by your constituency.
Well, one of the things I'd like to celebrate him on is I think it started on the 1st, the no overtime tax.
That's he's running for Congress, Anthony Daniels.
And I know that's just a temporary thing, but the fact that they remind us that it went in effect on January 1, as a citizen, that is a win.
Yeah.
That is a win. A lot of people I know probably don't work that way. They have a salary type job or whatever. I'm telling you, for blue collars guys, this is a huge win. And I hope it gets to stick around. Because let's be honest, the more overtime you work, the less life expectancy you're going to have.
Indeed. 272-9228. That's 272-9228. Now, in other news, as we're fielding some of these calls, this is the top story at 1819 News right now. Just a quick read up, not a lot of commentary here. But did you see it? Either the Alabama Supreme Court has now given the go-ahead for its first ever nitrogen suffocation execution.
I saw that. I still don't understand why people just don't.
Think it'll actually work this time?
No.
Oh, you think something else is going to come up?
We look, we've been alive for millions of years. We know how to effectively kill people. The fact that we play around with crap like this bothers me. If he is truly sentenced to die, that can be done very simply, very effectively, very quickly. But to play around with things like this shows me you weren't very serious about it the first time.
Remind me never to piss you off.
I'm just saying.
Let's go to Derek, who is a first-time caller. Hey, Derek, welcome to the show.
Hey, Derek. Yeah, I just, hey, Joey, Eddie, I just kind of tuned in when you guys were talking about Mark McGuire and everything.
Yeah.
I listen to you guys all the time. I'm 34 years old. Back when I was in Little League out in Birmingham, like when I played pitch machine, coach pitch, kid pitch, all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, I had a really good batting record, and everybody used to call me Mark McGuire and everything for the Little League. And I always thought that was a great, a compliment. And then now that I'm 34 now I've seen all that stuff, like, dang, I hope they didn't think I was using steroids at 9 years old.
It's like, dadgum, that kid's yoked. What? Looks like Tony Atlas over there.
Yeah.
No, but it's good times, man. That was a fun. I don't care that it was roid use. Like, that was a great season. A lot of fun to watch.
Did it affect you negatively? No, me neither.
I mean, that was like a better rivalry almost than Alabama and Auburn with Sosa and McGuire that year.
Yeah.
Right.
It was good.
But, yeah, but my point is home runs are home runs. You don't care how you get them. People love watching it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in the major leagues or in, or minor leagues or whatever.
Right.
Well, I appreciate you calling in.
I just tuned in. I heard that, and it kind of made me laugh, kind of reminisce a little bit.
Well, how long you been listening to the show?
Well, I moved down here to Montgomery June about 2 years ago. I have a buddy of mine, Kevin Duff. He does garage doors, and he tells me about you guys all the time. Like, all he does is talk about, hey, did you hear what they said on Joey Clark today? And, yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's freaking me out, actually.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good thing.
I'm sure it's never like super intelligent. Did you hear the incredible things they discovered on Joey Clark's show today? No.
Yeah.
More like, hey, did you hear what them two idiots said?
Yeah, anyway.
But anyway, I figured I'd call in. That was my piece. I'm going to keep listening, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, thank you, Derek.
Appreciate you, sir. Oh, new year, new callers.
There you go. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot to ask you, are you doing a whole new year, new me thing?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I've been planning for the new year since July of last year. You know, you've talked to me and how neurotic I am about
I just want to make sure.
I'm trying to build a spaceship, Eddie.
I'm running into people that are doing the new year, new me thing. I'm like, what? And then several of them, because, well, honestly, they're realtors and they're kind of fake. I go, when's that new me start? Because it's the same piece of crap I met last year.
No, in my case, it's like, just do the things you were already doing, but do it better.
I see.
Like more consistency at the gym, write more, just tighten up on the radio show, make it better, more research, more just.
There's a big thing.
Extra effort.
Big thing I feel like you left out. No love life in there. No love life.
What about my love life?
It's not mentioned in any of those.
You know way too much already that we're not going to share publicly.
I'm just saying. I didn't hear.
I think
part of your things you're doing this year.
I think my love life has been full enough. All right.
I haven't seen any new hickeys lately, so I didn't.
Right. Well, folks, the days I wear turtlenecks, then you'll know. Sometimes there's these massive things. Like,
I thought you had an outbreak or something.
No, that was intense. Anyway.
I remember I was 13. Good times.
Y'all out there necking on a lookout point? Yeah. No, I wish it was that wholesome. It ain't. 272-9228. Do you ever miss being that young?
Yes.
To where like a kiss or like holding a hand or, more. But like the simple things were kind of enough to get you all excited.
All right, I'll lay out.
And I'm not talking
I'll
dirty
lay out
ways.
something here in an embarrassing way.
Yeah, sure.
First time I ever held a girl's hand that I knew was my girlfriend. My heart will still flutter to this day. It was, I'd been around sisters and all that my whole life. So I knew girls. Girls are nothing.
Right.
But this girl, I think I was in 5th grade. We lived in Turkey. I actually had real, true feelings for her, and I felt she had feelings for me.
What was her name?
Daphne.
Daphne.
The minute that she reached out, and we were in the Cordone Hotel watching movies, that's all you ever got to do there. The minute that she reached out and grabbed my hand and held my hand, it was a real, one of those moments in your life I'll just never forget. I honestly felt like, holy crap, somebody wants me. Somebody likes me. It was a very rewarding feeling.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, and you get used to certain things, too.
Yeah, okay. I knew I opened it.
Like you fall asleep in a bed that's not yours, and then you wake up, though, and at about 6 in the morning, there's the cat. Oh, we forgot to pull the blinds up. So the cat wants to look out the window, just goes underneath the blinds. Like, well,
you ever wake up
hello, little dude. You're still not impressed with me, I know.
You never woke up with a stranger's cat just sitting on your chest?
Oh, yeah. No, plenty of times.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, what am I doing?
Just purring, like,
Yeah.
if you stay passed out much longer, I will begin to eat you. The cats will seriously eat you, folks.
Talk to paramedics. They will tell you. Cats are not necessarily your friend.
No, I'm not doing the new year, new me thing. Like, I'm going to be pretty consistently Joey here.
Yeah.
Just, like I
Okay.
said, double down on the things already doing and do it better.
No big, high ultimate goal?
That's not how I think of it. It really isn't. It's more like, and strangely, I thought I was the only one. But I think of it in terms of create habits and routines and protocols, if you will, that you go through and you just improve it. And if you do those habits and those protocols well enough, the long-term stuff will kind of work itself out. And of all folks, when I read Senator Britt's book, she talks about that exactly. That so much of successful people in general, I think this is true, where they're actually doing very complex things. And me running a radio show, there's some complexity. Not the same thing as running, say, a Senate office.
Oh, sure.
Or a major corporation, or heck, a city government. There's a lot of stuff that's very complicated. But I bet if you talk to Stephen Reed or you talk to newly elected Andrew Szymanski, he's a business owner, any of our small business owners that are sponsors, or you talk to a senator or a congressman, especially the ones that are really successful that you can tell are a little bit better, you'll find when you look under the hood, these folks have taken complex actions and boil it down to a few simple routines that they hit almost damn near perfectly. And it's the same thing for musicians, for people who do fitness and weightlifting all the time. Like, that is kind of a secret to life. Boiling down what seems complex to a few simple routines and protocols and habits and do them well. And then, see, the problem is when you get into the bad habits. So everybody knows how the bad habits can bring you down, right? Or keep you stuck in a certain spot.
Yes, they can keep you stuck in a rut.
But that same thing, that same inertia that keeps you stuck, you can take that same thing, reverse it, and actually get out of the rut. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, first you got to identify the fact that you're in a rut.
No, this was a few years back, but there's one guy, I can't remember his name. I mean, and he's one of these CrossFitter, like, that gay workout program. He's one of those guys who's just like super fit. But he's done this thing twice now where he went and he probably like 6'2", like ripped, good looking guy. And he's like, I'm going to get really, really fat and then lose it again. And the reason he's doing this is because he was always frustrated. He had clients who want to lose weight or get in shape or whatever. And he was always frustrated with them that they wouldn't follow these protocols or these routines he's coming up for them. And then he realized, their brain, their entire physiology works very different than me running at, 98%.
Yeah.
So he wanted to experience what his clients were going through. So he got really, really fat. He put on something like 60, 80 pounds extra. And then he went through the process of losing it again. He's done this twice. And he realized once he got like 80 pounds heavier, it's not easy.
Well, I'm wondering too.
And it's a mental thing. It's really difficult to get out of.
When he decided to put that weight on, did he just like stop and start getting sedimentary and just eating and not exercising?
No, he was a very conscious choice. He started eating pizza and donuts every day. He started eating
he didn't just dial back his workout. He quit. So he had to start that workout again. See, that's
you
tough.
can ask somebody you know in your life who's really healthy. They don't like fast food. They don't like necessarily something like pizza. Or even if they do like the taste of it, they can't eat much of it because they're just not used to it. But the same thing is true of all you eat is like Twinkies and pizza. If you try to eat a salad,
especially with no ranch.
Oh, it's just gross. I'm not a rabbit.
Right.
Anyway, you doing New Year, New Me?
Not really. I changed a few things, but nothing major.
But if you are doing New Year, New You, why not check out New Look Decorating Center?
Now that, Joey, is a really good idea.
I like it.
Me too. Because so many people, I go in houses every day, so many people have, they intend to freshen up their house with paint, but they don't know where to start. They just have no idea where to start. So you can go to New Look. You can talk to those folks. If you want to hire a professional painter, they can help you with that. But they can give you all the tips and tricks, and you can do it yourself. Right. Take a weekend and knock it out.
They really are going to save you time and money.
Oh, definitely.
Listen to them, folks. You might be like, I know what I'm doing.
Nah.
Maybe you do, but come on, listen to them.
Yeah.
And then if you've got a job that's so big you can't do it yourself, they know all the painters in town, all the contractors in town. And, of course, they have that high-quality Benjamin Moore product there. So check
here in Alabama
out today, whether you're talking to Brett Lanham, the manager, Brian Carr, the owner, or Jordan, or Katie. And by the way, Katie is the wallpaper and fabric specialist. So ask for Katie if you're looking for wallpaper or fabrics. But whoever you work with there at New Look, you're going to have a good time. Why not for a new year, go to New Look Decorating Center. That number, 271-0007. 271-0007. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom. See those smiling faces on that great team. 6237 Atlanta Highway right here in Montgomery where Bell Road dead ends to Atlanta Highway. You'll see it in all its glory. Benjamin Moore's New Look Decorating Center. And be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. Hey, should we hit another break here?
I reckon so. You're trying to be a union guy. It's because you used to being on breaks all the time.
I guess, but...
You get pay raises, too.
No, I thought you were the union guy.
I'm slowly pushing it on you.
I can tell. He's such a pusher. Pusher man.
I'm your pusher.
We'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Hey, this is David Little from Tucker Pecan Company. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over 10 years now, and the results have been amazing. Every day we have new customers that come in that have heard us on all the different radio stations that we advertise on. If you want to help your business grow, the best way to do it is through radio advertising through Blue Water Broadcasting. They do a great job in promoting our business and helping us grow our business, and hopefully they can help you grow your business too.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Your health and well-being can quickly be impacted by changing weather. The Johnny Adams Law Firm wants you to remain safe and be weather alert with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Hi, everybody. No doubt about it. We are getting into a very active weather pattern over the next several days, really. Today, a little Gulf Coast disturbance will bring in some showers, cold rain later on this afternoon and into this evening before ending later on tonight. A chilly day, you bet, with a high temperature only in the mid-40s, turning colder after the rain ends later on tonight, low 32. Sunshine briefly returns on Thursday and Friday, lower 50s on Thursday, upper 50s on Friday. Then another storm system brings in rain and thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday, with another big one next week. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE Credit Union makes auto loans easy with rates as low as 4.75% APR. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, 272-9228. If you want to get in on the program, that's 272-9228. We're getting a lot of comments rolling in. Again, folks, we are now live streaming the show on the Book of Faces, my Facebook page, News Talks, as well as on YouTube at Joey Clark Live.
Like and subscribe.
Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Or at the Joey Clark on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. So, but here's, well, a guy's not from around these parts. Says, Brian, sorry for bothering you. I'm from Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Ran out of gas with my daughter, and I walked to the gas station for a gas can and no help. Where are you at, Brian? Because I'm kind of stuck here. I don't know if I can help you out with that. But we'll keep asking people in the chat, Brian. Maybe they know something. That's an interesting comment. Kevin saying, thanks for the shout out, Derek. Thank you for listening, Kevin. Wow. Romex saying, she grabbed his hand to stop from falling. Eddie is living in his head movies.
She didn't grab my hand to stop from falling. We were two young people experiencing puppy love for the first time, and she had the wherewithal to reach out and grab my hand because she knew I couldn't do it.
And Romex Angler saying, I'm starting to see Les Grossman and Joey. He just needs the gold glasses. What?
I would like to see you in some gold glasses. I don't know who the Les Goldman thing is, but just the gold glasses.
I could do that. He's talking about, that's the Tom Cruise character in Tropic Thunder.
Oh my, yes.
I think I could pull that
Yes,
off.
you could pull that off.
Yeah, get like a bald like thing going, and yeah.
The tie and play some music in the background.
I like that.
Dude, I do like that.
Though I have to say, Matthew McConaughey in that movie is freaking hilarious too. Like that movie is genius. That's a great comedy they can't make these days.
It's just sad.
By the way, speaking of movies, did you see what Disney had to say they're going to do?
Yeah, they fixed to ruin the Star Wars franchise.
I thought they already ruined it.
Oh, you thought it could get worse? Hold on. There's more.
Really?
Yeah, man. And you were just saying the other day, like Marvel, how disappointed you were and how.
Right.
So Disney said, oh, you like that, Joey? Wait till you see this.
Well, here is what's going on. Apparently, Disney has handed over their $67 billion Star Wars franchise to a Pakistani feminist activist, Abidi Chinoy, on the new film she will be directing for the franchise. This is what she had to say. I think this was on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
When they did this interview, because she's in a glittery jacket and there's a countdown behind her.
I see the countdown. I hope that's it.
So let's listen into this lady here, see what she has to say about the new Star Wars she'll be shepherding.
So the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
I thought Kathleen Kennedy was already running Disney.
Well, if you got any Star Wars stock, sell it because it's going in a handbasket.
Well, I'm over it. Because especially that last one of this new trilogy.
Right.
What the heck is this hot piece of garbage right
It's only
here?
going to get hotter.
Because I was trying to like it. And the visuals are great.
Yeah.
And those, it made no sense.
Right. A lot of people did.
Oh, by the way, Palpatine's back. How?
Well, Joey.
Anything.
If you knew the magic of movies, you would understand that's not an issue.
It's just already such a mess. No, and I don't think Marvel's learned their lesson.
No, I think this will be another low moment when this, and I haven't even seen it or nothing. I just got a feeling it's going to be another low moment when this company, Disney, will have to say, you know what? We really got to look at how we're spending our money, guys.
Now, let's check in on the political candidates. Shifting gears again. This is Ron DeSantis.
Ronnie D?
Now, Vivek put out a big challenge to folks saying if they take Trump off ballots in certain states, you should pull your own name off.
Correct.
Don't be complicit. Don't be a beneficiary of this corrupt lawfare. Well, Ron DeSantis has decided to respond.
Oh, good.
So let's listen in together.
Governor, I want to get your response to something that Vivek Ramaswamy, who's trailing by quite a bit, said about Trump's removal from the primary ballot in Maine and, of course, in Colorado. Watch.
If every Republican removes themselves, that nullifies Maine and it nullifies Colorado if they remove a candidate unconstitutionally from that ballot. Now, I believe in standing on principle over politics. If they remove Trump's name, my name's off too. And I call on Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie to do the same thing. Their words are cheap. Action speaks louder than words. Now, their unwillingness to do that, I think, reveals that they're actually complicit, in part, in what's happening, even if indirectly.
No
Your
doubt.
reaction to those comments, Governor? Complicit in the lawfare against Donald Trump.
Just absurd. I mean, I have a responsibility to accumulate delegates. I'm not going to unilaterally seat any. I'm going to win as many as I can. And I've been very clear about both of those decisions in those states. It's not consistent with the Constitution. I do expect them to get reversed. I've raised the question about Biden. I mean, if he has greenlit 8 million illegals invading this country, is he eligible to be on? So we can play this game all along. I think it's not going to end up well for our country. But I do know this, that if any of the other ones of us had gotten kicked off the ballot, Trump would be spiking the football. Let's just be clear. That is just the fact of the matter.
That's probably accurate. I think that's a fair point. All right, there is a new ad that
Why would any of them get kicked off the ballot for being so boring that everyone fell asleep while they were trying to listen to them?
Yeah, and I love that. And Vivek Ramaswamy, who's way behind the polls.
Yeah, you love that?
Everybody's way behind in the polls. Laura, if your name ain't Donald Trump.
Yeah, he should have said, well, where am I at in the polls? Oh, you're right there with Vivek.
And by the way, Ron, who gave you this obligation to go get delegates? You?
Well, duh.
Well, I don't like what they're doing, but I'll be the beneficiary of what they're doing.
He's a politician, Joey. Politician, brother.
Yeah, I just don't. I'll vote for Ron DeSantis in the general. I'll admit that. But he doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling by any means.
No, not at all. There's better ones out there.
Yeah.
He makes a
much
good
better
governor.
ones. Now,
Really good governor.
I'll take Ron DeSantis over Nikki Haley
All
all
day
day,
long.
every day.
All day long.
Like,
But
and
at
there
the
are some
same time-
people I really trust who like Ron DeSantis, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I would vote for him. But this campaign has not given me a warm, fuzzy feeling by any means.
but
And we'll see what happens in Iowa.
I don't know if I want to give up a good governor. He's a really good governor. I'm not sure I'd want to vote for him for president. I would vote for him over Nikki Haley, but I don't know if I don't know. That'd be tough. Because once he's gone, I really worry. Once he's out of governorship in that state, Florida's going to be in for some trouble. And we're connected to Florida.
272-9228. And again, only a few days until the voting really gets going there in Iowa. And it's an interesting system, the caucus system there. And it really is about turnout and people willing to play that game, stay there all night and pick their candidate. And I think the guy who's doing the most hard work there in Iowa, even though the polls aren't showing it, is Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh, no doubt.
So I'm not predicting that he'll do well in Iowa, but I would love to see the professional pollsters and corporate media, yes, including Fox, have more pie on their face.
I just can't. How could he not be doing well? I mean, you had a conversation with him, Nikki, and old Cheeseburger. How could you pick anybody?
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. Oh, fat boy from Jersey.
Oh, Christy. I like that.
Cheeseburger. He's a walking cheeseburger. Mayor McCheese. But how could you have a sit down with those three people and walk away going, you know what, that Ramaswamy guy, I just don't trust him. Or I just don't like what he had to say. I really feel like Nikki Haley's the one that's going to take care of us. Or I feel like Cheeseburger's the right man for the job. I mean,
actually,
how can you be
I
honest
think
with
if
yourself?
Christie changed his name legally to Cheeseburger, he might get more votes.
He's Mayor McCheese.
He might
man.
get our votes.
Honestly, he's Mayor McCheese.
Vote Cheeseburger for president. Let's go to the phones. Talk to Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Papa B. Oh, boy. I like Vivek Ramaswamy, also known as vegetable lasagna. But he's showing a little bit of youthful, naivete there. And he said something like, well, if none of us get on the ballot, then the vote is, what? Nullified? Something like that. That's just stupid. The Democrats would love it if the Republicans didn't run, and they wouldn't say, I mean, who would say anything about it? That's kind of like, well, since, the vote's not going to go our way, we're just going to leave. That's just not going to work right there.
No, but
So
here's where I think he's coming from. If you had every single Republican candidate pull out of a Republican primary, I think that would be a sign that, we don't like the way y'all are going about this.
I don't
If you're talking about the general election, I see your point, but it's a Republican primary, and
Oh, okay. You're talking about okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's making a little more sense to me. So he's talking about the primary, and
Yes.
so everybody pulls out of the primary, and then what happens?
essentially you don't have one.
You don't have one, but I think they would fold before that.
Ronald McDonald gets to appoint who the candidate is that we want. McDaniel, whatever name, Ronald McDonald. Who gets to say who we're going to vote for on the Republican side of that?
I don't know if it'd go that far. I think if that many people took their name off the ballot, obviously there's a problem there. I would hope the Republican Party at that point would come together and go, "Hey, we got to fix this." I mean, how else do you
Republican
solve it
Party-
by saying, "Hey, I'm out"?
Well, and
Taking my
you
ball, I'm
probably
going
get
home.
Ronald McDonald back in Cheeseburger at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I would worry about. But
She and Chris Christie could go to McDonald's together and, decide what the future of the Republican Party is, I guess. So that's not going to happen, though. The Republican Party is only going to come together at the point of the gun, it looks to me like. We're going to, have to have a come to Jesus meeting with the rhinos because in the end, not even they can vote for, Joe Biden, I don't believe. Not the regular rhinos. Maybe the elected rhinos could, but I don't think those that support them second level or down could. What do you think? Do you think the rhinos could go ahead and support Biden? I don't think so.
Some of them already jumped ship. I mean, you just think of that whole
Yeah.
cast of characters that was on Fox News for years. It's now like deep in the bosom of the Democrats. Like Bill Kristol comes to mind, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? The log cabin Republicans?
Yeah, the way I
Yeah, you
envision, those are the gay Republicans. I don't know if Bill Kristol's gay,
Yeah.
though he does read a lot of Machiavelli, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what I meant there.
I don't think. Well, who knows? But no, Trump's got this. I don't. It's going to, in spite of all of hollering and the screaming and the cussing and the crying.
That's what I keep saying to folks. It's like there are a lot of legitimate criticism of Trump, I think, and yet he's still winning.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen, man. On this, just one other thing on the Epstein list here. Did it come out yesterday?
No.
As we were promised?
No. And they're all sorts of folks saying, well, they have to release it by January. They can delay. Right.
They don't have to do nothing. Look, the list has already been out there. It's been out there for a long time. You can find the list.
Sure.
You know? It's not a mystery. Now, I don't know if it's the whole list, but, you know, a partial list, you know, pretty well implicates some, I don't know, high A-lister Hollywood folks and political type folks. But, you know, I guess coming from the court, that means it's official? I guess. I don't know. Maybe the news media will have to take it seriously, you know. Anyway, guess we'll see in the fullness of time, as my friend Dan used to say.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Papa.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Yep. See you.
Yeah, and I'm honestly ready for Iowa to become, you know, come on. Let's get to
go with
voting. Yeah.
Yeah.
New Hampshire to South Carolina. Let's get to it. Because, yeah, some of the warfare within the Republican tent is just obnoxious. And
the whole thing is just, it kills me. The more I learn about elections and how they're not. Joe, if you want to run for president, you know you can't run. I mean, you can run, but if the party gets behind you, doesn't get behind you, which they wouldn't, you're done.
No. I'm not a leader of men. Right. Look at me.
But even then, okay, within the party, they've got great people like Trump. You really think they're backing Trump? Do you think the Republican Party's given 50% support to Trump? I don't even think they're giving 50. I think they got their hands in their pockets. They're just hoping somebody else will hit this guy with a rock and knock him out.
Well, I maintain I'd be happy with no president.
No, that's just silly.
Why?
You have to have somebody to blame at the end of the day. Somebody's got to go to jail at the end of the day. It's like running a state with no governor. Who's going to go to jail? You want to run by committee?
No.
You want anarchy?
Yes.
Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
Yeah, how about just the rule of law, no stupid leaders that get to decide what the law is?
What if I interpret the law different from you?
Well, we have somebody can adjudicate that we agreed to beforehand.
I was hoping you could have a duel.
Well, we could do that, too.
Okay, I'm down with the duel.
Yeah. I'm not good with tools, let alone dueling firearms, sidearms. Hey, let's go to Duke real quick before we hit our final break and go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. How you doing,
What up, Duke?
South side in the house. The west side in the house. The east side in the house. The north side in the house. Dunktown we're talking about, y'all. Bama fans, where you at? I couldn't let y'all off the hook. You know I couldn't let y'all off the hook, baby.
What?
Bama fans, where you at?
What happened, dude? What happened to Bama fans?
Sky, where you at? They so quiet I hear that old rat TPing in the corner, y'all. I can't hear from the Bama fans.
What happened?
Talk to me. Huh? What happened to them, boy?
They were all good. It kind of reminded me of that Auburn game, to be quite honest. That
Yeah,
fourth quarter, I was like,
all right.
Susanna looked over and she said, I'm so nervous. Alabama's ahead, and we still got a couple minutes left. Yeah, been there.
Yeah.
Been
You
there.
know what I love about these? You know what I love about these Bamas, though? When they lose, they like roaches when you turn the light on. You know how that thing goes. When you turn the light on, they just scatter everywhere. They running, making excuses. And I heard about 500 yesterday, and I heard about 1,000 yesterday. They said, if a frog had a pocket, he'd hold a gun and keep some of those snakes off his head. I'm gone.
See you, dude.
729228. We got a 30-second break here. Shouldn't be too long, folks. Be right back.
Joey Clark.
may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. New Year looks bright, despite all the, storm clouds gathering.
I don't see no shades. It ain't so bright that you're wearing shades.
Yeah, right, exactly. We'll get there one of these days.
All
But
right.
it's kind of overcast today.
Dude, I'm telling you.
What's the high, 60-something?
If that, when I got here, it was in the 40s. It feels like if we were up north, it would be snowing. It had those big gray clouds and all.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yeah,
snowy. or
it's a
nothing like
gray
that, but
day.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go to Ray Bowles with Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I was just complaining to Eddie about how cold it was, and he said when they were in Alaska, you lay carpet, and
Yeah.
it's frozen. When you bring it inside, you can't even bend it to get around the steps and break it.
You got to break it in half and then let it sit for a day. Yeah. Laying
We don't
carpet
have,
up there was,
unfortunately, we don't have to do that down here.
Yeah, completely
Hallelujah for that.
yeah.
But I can tell you that now the number one best upgrade to the house I live in currently
Yeah.
is that I put a heated floor in Angie's bathroom.
Oh, Ray, tell me about this.
And when you get up in the morning, it's a perfect 75 degrees on your toe.
That's nice.
Ooh, that is pleasant.
Yeah.
The only problem, if you notice the words I used, Angie's bathroom.
Right.
Because I get up so much earlier than she does, I use the little one across the house. And there's no heated floor.
One without the heated floor, of course.
Yep, yeah. We have friends come over, and I'm like, let me show you her closet. Now let me show you my closet.
Yep.
And they're like, how does this work out? I said, she's a grumpy bear in the morning, and I figured the best thing for me to do is quietly get ready to go to work and leave quietly.
There you go.
Me and the dogs have learned not to make a sound. Don't even cut the coffee pot on.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm a morning person, and she is not. Like, I get up, and I'm like, hello, world. And she just gives me that little, like, shut up and get out of here.
Get out of here. Yep. Not everybody's
Yeah,
like that.
but
Ray.
the heated floor does help her when she gets up and gets going and she walks on that heated floor. It's amazing, and we really don't talk about heating tile floors, but we can definitely do it. We use on the systems we use. You can program them on your phone. They cut on, they cut off, so it's only heating up really about 2 hours a day. So it's not burning any electricity.
Oh, wow.
Because think about it, you're only in there in the morning and the evening.
Right.
Right.
So it's not like it's running 24/7. So if that's something you're in need of, you're talking about redoing a bathroom, those are the small things that we can offer and go over with how you do it. And we got the electricians that can come in there and wire them for you and whatever you need. So call us today, 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a floor down. Just that simple.
Again, that number, 285-8117. And when you call Prattville Carpet at 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with those Joey and Eddie fellas.
Guys, y'all have a great day.
You too, Ray.
I see how he survived all these years.
He's a smart man.
He is. He's a clever fella.
Smart man, man.
Though, like a lot of our married men who call on the show, they married up.
Oh, definitely.
Ever met a man who married down?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of them out Hyundai.
That's why they're always working, right?
Yep. Work a lot of overtime.
So did we learn anything today?
My contempt for the U.S. government is as bad as ever.
Oh, yeah. Mine is, well, I can't even begin to talk about my contempt.
Oh, I meant to bring up something, though. Charlemagne the God. You know that guy?
Yeah, I know that
He
guy.
actually put out a statement this week, and I read that he regrets supporting Biden last term.
All right, Charlemagne.
I could not believe I read it twice just to make sure those were actually his words. And he did. He came out and said, I regret it 100%.
No, I disagree with that guy so
Me
much
too.
on politics, but I like Charlemagne.
The fact that he came out and said this just made me look at him in a whole different light. And we all make mistakes.
Now, I kind of want to see Vivek go back on the Breakfast Club,
I
and
think
then
it would be
without
different now.
that obnoxious woman,
Yeah, I think it would be different.
and
now.
let Charlemagne and Vivek
have a
at it.
conversation. Just
Yeah.
have a conversation.
Right. So last time it was a interrogation,
To say the least.
and interruptions if you didn't get the response if you wanted,
Right.
which is the usual crap that passes for discourse in this country these days.
Unfortunately, so true, Joey.
Well, and we also learned that, well, it's not because of plagiarism. No, we got to go back to that. The right wing has a new weapon.
Yes, I forgot.
Again, President Gay of Harvard resigned.
Mm-hmm.
And the Associated Press, this is the headline they ran with 12 hours ago.
Associated
Harvard president's resignation highlights new conservative weapon against colleges, plagiarism.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some folks out there saying, well, if you're going to do this to a black woman, we should look under every, rock, every nook and cranny of all these folks for plagiarism. And everybody on the right is like, your terms are acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Like, y'all have the wrong idea about most of us.
That's what I love it when somebody accuses you of something and you go, okay,
let's do it.
You flip the script on them. They don't know how to act.
Right. No, I thought this is I didn't really, did we talk about this story that much as it was ongoing? No.
No, I think
I'm
when
like,
it first came
whatever.
out, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and I knew, and I mean, just in my heart of hearts, I call it then, they're going to get her.
Yeah, but then, as I'm seeing it play out, it's like, whatever. To me, the story that's fascinating is more this ongoing war between establishment and anti-establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And now the reaction kind of shows that, like, y'all got nothing, man.
But it's funny, and I've only read this in one place, so I can't confirm it yet, but they have said that she will lose her position as president. However, she will stay on with the same salary. It's just
$900,000, yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Such a victim there.
Right. And on top of that, she's going to ride this victim train. She's going to. So,
well, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Vita. What's next?
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Japanese rescue workers and K-9 units are searching urgently through rubble ahead of predicted bitter cold and heavy rain in what the